Yep. The league presidents are sitting in the front row, or should be sitting in the front row. We do have power at the second and third rows of tables. If you have a laptop or something you need to plug in, move up there and sit there so your machine doesn't die. So, go ahead, Larry. So we're going to move this along. We're going to have 3 different sessions. We'll have a 15-minute break between the sessions. So we're going to kind of have a good pace, as I said before, to try to get everybody out of here as quick as we can. Let's go ahead and get rolling. If nobody has anything to start off with, we'll start off with Jack Arnett and Tim Arvanitis. You got to make sure you turn it on.
You want to start this one or this one? Okay, great. Everybody recover from Patty's gala last night. What a great event Patty did. Give her a hand. Great job, Patty. Outstanding. Good time for all. I think I set the record for the best average on the bets. The odds went up and up and up. And so the challenge is for next year, right? Somebody get better odds on that horse race. I'm going to throw it down now. Great job, Patty, and the whole team, Simone and everybody that worked on that, the whole team. That was great. We'll get a chance here to kind of ring our own bell a little bit. You see the folks around the U-shape. Some of them are surrounded, everybody in the blue shirts. These are the team that puts this thing together, makes everything run. And as you presidents know, we talked about it Friday night. You're the core of everything, you and associations. We've got a great partnership here in Mid-America, and it's just a pleasure for Tim and I and our team up here to be able to talk to you for a few minutes about that. Traditionally at the region meeting, which is kind of a formal meeting and has to be done per our procedures in Pop Warner, try to give a little region update on things that we've done. Some of this is going to be recapped out of the meetings that were yesterday. I apologize for that, but people are coming and going, and we want to make sure the message gets drilled down wherever it can. Last year with COVID, as you all know, we had several states in Mid-America get shut down, and we had the foresight to jump on that and put a facility together in a state that didn't get shut down and host hundreds of games last fall. And what a great deal for a couple of our states. We were able to bring teams from Ohio in there. We were able to bring teams from Michigan in there. We were able to bring a whole half a league from Chicago in there, and in the Indiana League. So it was a great deal. But what that did, besides giving everybody a chance to play football, it opened our eyes up on the regional level at a high level. You guys all do this all the time. You run games all the time. Most of us haven't done anything like that for years and years. We're way removed from that. After 14 weeks of 12, 14 hours a day, Chris Brooks and his family and this team and myself, especially myself, we got an eye-opener. Okay, we found out we need to do some things different because we've been separated from those games and what that's all about for a long, long time. So there's a lot of negatives with COVID. That was a positive. So out of that, we came up with, and I guess as a leader, you guys are all leaders, and you're particular, Tim and I and our team here, we consider ourselves leaders. As a leader, we got a good takeaway out of that, and that's what we opened up 2021 with this year. I started out the year by restructuring our regional board and hiring and firing and demoting and promoting volunteers is one of the toughest things you'll ever want to do. I'll tell you that right now, because we're all volunteers, and what a staff I got. I go up to one of them and say, hey, we need to make this little move. We need to do that. Sure. What do you want me to do next? It's just such a great team there. But out of that, I asked Tim Arvanitis, our vice regional director, to take over oversight on football and recruiting. As you know, recruiting has been our goal for a long time. If we would have had this meeting 2 years ago, we could have done it in the closet. We could have done it in the hallway out there, okay? We basically had 2 active leagues with any size and a lot of folks on the outskirts. And Tim has helped change that culture in recruiting. So Tim, why don't you talk about that a little bit, please?
Thank you, Jack. I really appreciate it. Most of you know, I know our league presidents know that once I got the opportunity to become the vice regional director, I created 11 Facebook pages, and that has paid dividends fully. We had some discussions with Minneapolis. They've got a guy that runs their football program out of there, and he's from Naperville, and he moved up that way, so he understands what Pop Warner's all about, and we may see Minneapolis come in next year. Northeast Ohio, under John Watts and Miss Kelly Drake, have done a phenomenal job with building that corner of the state as far as football programs and everything, and I'm looking forward to seeing some great things coming out of Ohio. We've got conversations ongoing with Tim Weissman out of Cincinnati, and one of the things Tim has asked for me to convey to you guys is that he wants to put together an invite where the third week of August, preferably that Saturday, if you would like to come down to Cincinnati and have a little scrimmage game with him, so that way we can kind of showcase Pop Warner. He's eagerly awaiting my response as to who would like to go to Cincinnati on that third week of August. So think about it. If it's of interest to you, let me know. We got a very, very big win with Miss Kathy out of Wisconsin. Miss Kathy is she in the room? Where is she? There you go. Yeah, she was with the Southwest region and a big administrator out in that league for many years, and she moved to Wisconsin. And she has been a breath of fresh air in that state. She's got Racine on board out of the Kenosha area. Milwaukee Steelers, they're with us now. I hope they're still here. And we've got some conversations with a couple other folks as well. So we're excited to see Milwaukee and that southeast region of Wisconsin grow. We had a conversation with Iowa, and it was out of Cedar Rapids. One of the things that didn't go well was he didn't meet the deadlines that we had in front of him, and I'm not going to go any further with that guy. If he's not going to be able to, show interest and make sure the deadlines are met and pay the appropriate fees to be all in Pop Warner, then we're moving in a different direction. So we just talked to our friend Anthony Merriweather. I don't know if Anthony's still here. There he is. He's in the back. He's our Indianapolis rep. He's got some great plans to grow Indianapolis Pop Warner, and Ron Edwards is going to be overseeing his movement in all that. Matter of fact, he's going to be involved with Anthony moving forward, shoulder to shoulder. So that's a good thing. Missouri, the inner city group, Kansas City. We just brought Brandon Dye. I don't think Brandon's here, but they're all in. And we had those folks several years ago, and they just petered out. But they've come back. They're fully functional, and they're ready to roll in Pop Warner. So South Dakota and North Dakota, Bismarck has shown interest, and it's all been conversation, but nothing beyond that. So we've planted the seed, as you can see, in all of our states in our region. And I'm not going to rest until we get them all. And some people you may not want them all. Well, we'll vet them as they come, but I want Pop Warner to be the talk of the town when it comes to youth football in Mid-America, without question. And Jack's given me the vehicle and the opportunity to do that, and I'm not going to let him down. So one of the things I'd like to see is our league commissioners, our regional commissioners, assist me with the Facebook pages and the posts and so forth, because ultimately we're going to provide that responsibility down to you guys, to where you oversee the development of new programs coming into Pop Warner. So if that's of interest to you, if you feel that you can do that for me, I'd like to talk to you after this meeting. But yeah, exciting things are happening here in Mid-America. I can't wait. Like Jack said, we could have had this conversation in the hallway. Those days are over. Our goal here is to make sure that we bring them all on the boat without question. So, Jack?
And as part of Tim's team, as he pulled that recruiting stuff together, of course, Larry Babcock heads up the technical side of that recruiting. I think we wore out 2 Zoom accounts so far this year. I mean, it's been an amazing, and all the folks on this team partner in this recruiting. When we talk to somebody in a Zoom meeting about bringing them in, we want them to understand that scholastics is right up there with football, that cheer and dance is right up there with football, and that compliance is what Mid-America does, compliance. So that great team, and appreciate all your input on that as we went through that. I'd mentioned the learning experience running those games, and I mentioned the restructuring of our regional team. We added some new positions. Frank Moore is now our safety director, and again, Frank says, what do you want me to do when we made some changes? What do you want me to do? Right there, right up front. Great guy. Did you hurt anybody at blackjack last night? Was that, how did you, no? He was our #1 dealer. No? Okay, all right. One of the things we did right after getting all this absorbed from last season, we brought in a lot of our young coaches, and we asked them, tell us what we're missing here. Give us some ideas on what we can do. And some of this is a recap. I shared it with the presidents Friday. We shared a little bit of it yesterday. But one of those messages that we got was adding these showcase games that Tim referred to. We're going to go around to the larger communities in Mid-America, and we're going to put Pop Warner out front so folks can see it. We got a good, really first jump on that, August 14th and 15th. We're going to Kansas City and going to have 2 days of football, and hopefully we'll showcase Pop Warner. I believe our friends from Texas region are going to join us there, so we'll have some good games and a good chance to really blow this up media-wise with some good football down there. We're going to do the same thing mid-season. We've got the scheduler for Chicagoland and Indiana, which are our 2 biggest leagues. He's on our board, so he's going to be your scheduler too. And what I mean by that is, if John's got a Pee Wee team in Cleveland, but there's not a lot of teams to play, and he's out on an island out there, our scheduler here is going to work with John and say, hey, we'll send somebody out there from Chicago, or somebody from, you can go to Indiana and play this team, or and our new leagues, for example, they're definitely going to be struggling for games. So the region is going to help with that schedule thing. And for you small groups, that scheduling is a big deal. We understand that completely. Okay, now just a couple recaps. And these are success stories here, guys. This stuff doesn't happen by accident. We moved the needle with some changes with the national office this year, okay? We got a weight increase, it weighted. And it's like, I'd rather go for a root canal maybe than fight through those things, but we got it, okay? And that's a credit to our team. And for those of you that are staying weighted, okay, we got you that increase. And I know you all said you had to have it. And the great support I got from our friends in Florida that helped. This is all politics. You got to work it through the other regions. You got to work it through the national office. And my counterparts here in Florida, I'm going to introduce in a minute, helped push that through. And we couldn't be more appreciative of that. The biggest accomplishment I think we got was odd years, thanks to Bud and his league and some of you who gave us input and said, guys, we're missing the boat on this odd year thing. And you all, we didn't understand it. We do now, but we didn't before. These coaches that have a 10U team and they're in that D1 level, that Mickey Mouse chasing level where they want to go play, all those kids are 10. There's no 9-year-olds or 8-year-olds on it. They're all 10, right? So they move up to 11, and we've got a gap there. What do those coaches do? They go somewhere else. Okay? Well, what do they, if we don't offer it to them? And so Bud just beat me up every day. Come on, Jack, you got to do something. Well, things go slow in Pop Warner, but we fast-tracked that, and we got that done. 2 regions in the country asked for a waiver, and it's us in Texas. So you all have the option now of every age level, from 6U to 14U, and all the weighted, thanks to the input and thanks to the hard work on our part and the partnership with my counterpart, Dennis. And we're going to have, the only reason we're not having 11 and 13 championships this year, in my opinion, in Florida, is just simply the space, the field space. With our new partners, and we're going to talk about them in a minute, we have to get off the ground with fewer brackets. So for our 11 and 13, we're going to do some postseason just like we did with Florida last year. We're going to give them a national stage with another region, a chance to win a championship. We're just still working on it right now, and you all know there's more to come on that. A couple national level things that I'm just really excited about. You're going to hear from PWA, Pop Warner Authentic. like everybody else, you run a business at your level, associations, leagues, us, national office. There's a lot behind the scenes that helps finance everything. And like everybody else, Pop Warner had to make some changes. And I think we made one of the best changes possible here with regard to helping the overall financial structure. We've got a company now that is part of us. They are you. They are us. They're Pop Warner. And they are going to provide a level of equipment, a level of merchandise, a level of uniforms that we can talk about and we can work with them on and the pricing because it's part of the family, all right? And the ultimate goal is we're going to be buying for everybody in the United States. You guys understand the buying power on that. When everybody buys into this, the slower you buy in, the longer it's going to take for this to work. So when you buy in, the money starts coming down. The region's going to get a few pennies. The league's going to get a few pennies. Association, it works that way. So somebody in Texas buys a set of uniforms. The guy in Chesterton over here gets a nickel in his account, right? So that's the way that stuff works. So that's the goal, and it's exciting, and we're looking forward to that. The partnership with Florida Citrus Sports, we all hated to leave Disney. We all hated to leave ESPN. But guess what? New doors open, and we got a bright door here. You guys are going to see this facility coming up. We're excited, okay? These kids are going to be out on a first-class championship NFL-level stadium and they're building a build-out around it that is absolutely awesome. So we're going to work together and make that a great experience with our partners there. And those are two big, big happenings out of the national office that we're really proud of. Let me flip my page here so I don't miss anything. Tim Lucas and Larry talked a lot yesterday in the coaches training about consistency. When you all feed into our games at the end of the year, we're working really hard on that. We need you guys to listen to us, okay? I need you league presidents to don't let that go through one ear and out the other, okay? When we say, look, we're trying to do this with our Mighty Mike coaches, make a change, they go off the field at halfway through the year, whatever it is. Or we want our 8Us to be 8-man football because we want it to be for everybody. So when you come to our playoffs, listen to us. You got your own autonomy. We get it. But it just clogs things up in November if we're not all on the same page. So these guys work hard on that, okay, really hard. So please, they did a great job yesterday educating your coaches and you all, and please take that to heart. Standard enforcement across the region, of course, is something we've done for a long time. I don't know if there's any other region in the country that has the level of officials that we do that serve in this kind of capacity. All of them got good game officials, but ours serve as administrators here. We got 3 of the top in the country that are on this board. They've done Super Bowls, they've done college, they've done every level. One of them's done NFL, of course, and he'll tell you that. Yeah, he'll tell you that once in a while. But having them on our board is a big deal, and you guys need to take advantage of that. The region, this last month, you talk about getting your eyes open, had a couple, maybe 6 weeks. The other side of things, hearings, problems, things like that. My takeaway from that is, I'm going to tell you all right now, the region's going to take a little bit heavier role in hearings and investigations, okay? I've got some great people, that Ron Edwards and a couple others, Jim and a couple others on our board, and we're going to assist you guys because it's easy to make a mistake. And I can tell y'all, don't be too proud to ask questions. Do you think that I can disqualify a team automatically in November? No. I pick up the phone, I call Sam, we get eyes on it, you ask questions. We're not on an island on those things, okay? So we're going to assist you a lot more in that area and make sure due process happens. That's part of our job. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is the commissioner role, and I talked about it a lot Friday night. It's new. I apologize for the way it went out. At that time, I had 8 active leagues. 4 of them called me and said, Jack, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're killing me. What's this? I don't want that guy. And I did. So what I did, I didn't explain to the commissioners necessarily what we were looking at, and I didn't explain to league presidents either. And that's on me. So we're backing up. We're starting over. That's going to be a communication piece. It's going to be a tool to help everybody, and that's the way it's intended, and nothing more. And it'll be different in every league. That's the key. In Wisconsin, Kathy will probably literally act as a league president over 3 small leagues there. She'll probably do a lot of their day-to-day stuff because they're small leagues, they don't have the capacity. It'll be different in Chicago. It'll be different in Indiana. It'll be different in Cleveland. It'll be different just how the league's structured. So I apologize for the way it was rolled out, but we're going to make it work. And the bottom line on that is that's not Big Brother. They're not supervising. I know some of those wear association hats in your leagues. That's a little awkward, I understand. But guess what? We're going to work through it. And it's no different than any other RMT member being out on a field to help supervise. They are the highest local authority to assist you as league presidents, not to do anything else other than assist you, okay? That's it. That's it. Social media is something we're going to talk about today. Two takeaways I'd like for you to take out of this today from my perspective. Listen to Janie real close on the social media stuff. We got to do a better job, Mid-America, with that. And the big ticket item today is Bridget's presentation on our online training. It pays the bills. I'll tell you that right now, okay? The online training pays the bills. And guess what? This online training we have now is been built up to a point where it's going to be something that's going to be meaningful. When we started this years ago, I mean, it was literally just put in to bring in money. And our online by ourselves was not very effective. But again, our partners in Florida partnered with us, let us put our money together, and we share that, and we need that revenue. But more important, from a liability standpoint, your coaches need that risk management training. That's vital that they have that before they step on the field. So pay close attention, and as you all know, everything that they're going to be talking about will be on the thumb drive, and you'll be taking that back. So I'm going to shut up for the day here and let the professionals run the rest of this. But I want to, Dennis Connors, my counterpart from Florida, the regional director down there, his vice regional director, Ricky Wright, and my man, Ken, the football commissioner, okay? Great guys. They come up here and they figure out how to do it right, and they'll take it back to Florida and they'll copy everything we do. That's all right. That's good. Dennis, would you like to say anything? You've never turned down a chance to talk. Would you like to say anything? Thanks. We said it several times over the week. On the football side, if you want to win a championship, you got to go through Florida, and we kind of whizzed through them last December, so that was fun. Okay, Bill Heyman. Bill Heyman's responsible for all this, the live streaming, all the work he's done. Bill, give a wave. I brought him on as treasurer the first of the year. What a guy. Thanks, Timmy. Sorry to run it so long.
Thanks, Bill. Great job. I did fail to mention we are live streaming. We are recording all this, so it's available to you through YouTube. I know we just handed out these nice agendas, but now I'm going to blow it up because we got to make some changes. So we're going to go to a Zoom call with John Butler, our national director. He's going to be on the call as well, and we're going to bring up Stuart and Angus Martin to talk about Pop Warner Authentic. You might have. I warned you. I didn't say that. You want to wait for John?
Good morning. Happy Father's Day.
Hey Bill, how you doing?
Morning, John.
Hey Bill, how you doing?
No, it's okay. We ready?
Good morning.
Hey, John.
How you doing, Stuart?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Okay, good morning, everybody. Pop Warner Authentic. Pop Warner Authentic is a wholly owned subsidiary of Pop Warner Little Scholars. The proceeds from any sales goes to Pop Warner, which will then be fed through the system. I do the fulfillment for Pop Warner Authentic. Okay, sorry. I do the fulfillment for Pop Warner Authentic. So we do the uniforms, we do the polo shirts, we do t-shirts, we do everything. We're collecting data on how much revenue Pop Warner does, and it's a colossal amount. You guys in here, your leagues, your associations, the regions, spend north of $5 million on apparel and merchandising, all of which leaves Pop Warner. All of those funds leave Pop Warner. Okay? What we're trying to do is we're trying to replicate the business models of, for example, Varsity Cheer, Reigning Champs. Both of those two companies are for profit. Pop Warner is non-profit. If we can get this right, if we can get the funds going through the system, imagine how much money comes back to you guys. It's an awful lot. And then what you can do with it. You can build your programs out. You can have more leagues come into the region. You can do more things for your kids. One of the huge things that we've seen so far, and it's a cornerstone for Pop Warner and you guys, is loyalty. And I have a massive amount of empathy for the loyalty you hold to your vendors. I understand it's really difficult to accept the changes that you feel are being forced upon you, okay? But if you can all come together, if you can look at it and go, you have collective bargaining power now. We're going to force prices lower, which is going to be good for your association, it's going to be good for you. And not only that, we will force more funds through the system. It's purely a critical mass thing. We need to get your support to get this moving. You guys are the Ferrari, and we're the gas. We have to get the gas into the Ferrari. And it's really that simple. Coming back to fulfillment, all of our products are USA made. I'm from London, I'm an immigrant, I'm a US citizen. But our factories, our facilities are all in America. So every single product you received is from the US, made here. Our turnaround time is very, very quick, less than 10 days. Some of you guys have ordered from us and seen the experience. Are we going to mess up? Yes, we are. We're human. Will we correct our mistakes very quickly? Yes, we will. We need your feedback. We need you to help us get things right. If you have any problems, talk to us. Please open up lines of communication with us. You will see that we will bend over backwards to get things right. Typical example, we did some polo shirts for these guys. We were one short. We messed up. We got a phone call, you messed up, we're one short, we sent it immediately. We are going to make mistakes. It's the nature of humanity. But please come to us, just talk to us, communicate, and we're going to correct any mistakes. If you buy uniforms from us, or your associations buy uniforms from us, if we make mistakes with names, numbers, colours, we will correct it at no charge, and we will correct it super fast. Now, transition is difficult. We understand it's difficult. And it's difficult for us too, because we're not intimate with Pop Warner. We don't know the inner workings of it. But we want to learn. We want to learn. So please, just open up lines of communication, see what we can do for you, see how we can help you. And we will. And we will get prices lower than you pay now. And that's the nature of collective bargaining. If we can get more regions, more leagues using us, we're going to drive prices lower. Substantially lower, probably, from what you're paying now. And we can do things that most manufacturers can't. We're the largest dye sublimation company in the US. We manufacture for Lilly Pulitzer, Disney. We've made the Detroit Pistons uniforms. We've made the Cleveland Cavaliers uniforms. We manufacture for USPS. We have government contracts. But we can learn. So we need your help to learn. Okay? Has anyone got any difficult questions for me? Well, we make uniforms for the IFL, so our quality is good. We're obviously more expensive than Pakistan or India or Indonesia. Yes, we can't compete with them because we pay American salaries. We have a very loyal team. We haven't had one person leave us, and 2020 was difficult. So our prices have to reflect that we pay American workers. But we're cheaper than anybody else who's USA manufactured. That's for sure. And if your feedback is that you feel pricing's an issue, talk to me, and we'll see what we can do. We can drive prices lower. I'll give you an example. We're doing a whole league in Pacific Northwest. A whole league's come to us and said, we need 1,800 uniforms. We're making those for them. So they get a substantial discount. And we want to be able to do that for you guys. But we need that critical mass. Go ahead. Thank you.
Bringing that in, and the quality, that's also going to probably reflect the pricing. How's the turnaround time going to be with the cheer side as well? Is that going to be 10-day turnaround?
Yeah, cheerside's approximately the same depending on the complexity of the uniform. If you add a lot of rhinestones, you can add another 5 days. We're not, cheers, we're trying to offer a reasonably priced uniform, a good quality, reasonably priced uniforms. We don't want to compete with Rebel or Varsity. We can't. That's not our target market. And some people like that. That's perfectly fine. But we need to, make sure that we get good quality uniforms and a very, very, very nice quality uniform that people want and we think we can sell a lot of. Go ahead. Next year, that's a great question. Next year, we're going to offer pop-up stores for regions, leagues, and every association. And we're going to try and we are going to do the fulfillment for those. And once again, what we'd like to do is, because obviously that's a huge fundraiser for you guys. So what we'd like to do, the second we collect funds, you will be distributed those funds as quickly as we get them in. So, it is difficult to raise funds. Okay. That's our responsibility. No. You can come to us and it's our responsibility if we get it wrong. So, just interact with us. We've got a huge design team. They'll help you. You'll be able to talk to a human being, and they'll help you with the designs. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we have those standards. Yeah. Yeah, we'll kick them back if there's ideas that aren't within the regulations. We'll kick them back. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah. Sure. That's okay.
You can add.
Go ahead.
We would just like to know about, is there some kind of catalog you guys gonna come out where we can see different versions of uniforms, different ideas, polos, like we talking about the pop-up store. That's great. That's what I was gonna ask the question about. But are we gonna have to come up with our own designs, or will you guys have some kind of catalog where we can say you have 4 or 5 different polos to pick from, you have 4 or 5 different versions of dry fit, cotton, jerseys, and so forth?
Yeah. Okay. We have a flip book that we can send out to you guys. Obviously, we're evolving because this is something that's in demand that you guys want. Next year, that will all be available. This year, we'll send out a flip book to you, and you can choose from the polos, t-shirts, etc. you want. One of the quick things, just one sec. One of the quick things I want to add about uniforms. Every single person or association has a unique design. Okay, we are not template based. So once we use that design's finished. It's your design. So that won't be used again. You won't turn up at tournaments or play another team who's wearing the exactly same uniform as you but in different colors. Okay? Yeah.
Will there be like an online design store?
Yeah, what we're doing at the moment, we're building out a library of everybody's logos within Pop Warner. And so you'll be able to go onto the online stores, pick out your logo that you want, and then put it onto any, basically t-shirt, jacket, leggings, whatever you want, you'll be able to put them on, and then we'll manufacture them for you. Yeah.
Question online, they asked if the discounts that you mentioned would be any different for new organizations as opposed to existing organizations.
Well, that's something for headquarters to decide. We would like to be able to offer new organizations some kind of discount. But the key is to get money back into the grassroots, and you guys have seen that a little bit with the sweepstakes. I believe a team in Indiana won the sweepstakes for football, didn't they? Yeah. Okay, so our target this year with the sweepstakes, for example, is to put $100,000 back into associations. We're just about to launch another sweepstake, because one of the key things that we've heard back is that fundraising is very, very important for you guys. Very important. So the next sweepstakes that we do is T-shirts, which will be logoed with the association that wins, for them to go out and fundraise with those. And we're going to continue to try and do those kind of things to make your life easier. We need to somehow, all you guys work really hard. You're all running small businesses. Okay? We need to take away the logistics of your business so that you can get out and enjoy actually doing the things that you enjoy with Pop Warner. We're there to take away the hassle of the logistics of your ordering of apparel and uniforms. Sure. Yeah.
Was that 9? Was that 9 different associations at 200?
I'm not sure. We're talking to them at the moment, yeah.
Is it a co-op situation?
Well,
Could it be?
the team that's dealing with it is, yeah.
Could it be? We've got
Yeah,
50.
you can co-op everybody together. As many as you can get together, we'll lower
We've got
pricing for
50
you.
associations here in Chicagoland, and if more of our associations want to sign on to it,
Yeah.
would you discount as Chicagoland Pop
Correct.
Warner?
I'll give you a discount, and then we can plan it, and we'll do it year on year. And next year, if we did it this year for you, it would be a great price. If we did it next year for you, it would be a phenomenal price. Go ahead.
Again, I'm not sure if somebody had mentioned this because they didn't have the mic on their mouth, but with the business model that you're projecting, are you going to be able to send us some kind of maybe a template or more information on how you're structuring that so we can understand and give that information to our associations of, hey, you know, if we're all on board over a period of a year or two, it's 100% profit. This is what's going to come back to our league or association.
That's up to you guys to work out with John and
I'm
Jack.
just saying, is there like a business model already in place, or are you guys still structuring that?
We'll put one together for you, certainly.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we understand that it's very important to get money back. Yeah.
The two big takeaways that I see so far from what's been presented is, number one, if you go through Pop Warner Authentic, everything is going to be in compliance with the restrictions or guidelines that Pop Warner and youth sports initiate. And even if you only get $1 back, that's $1 more than you're getting back from the local vendor that you're using. So there's two big wins right there,
Yeah.
aside from the simplicity and the 10-day turnaround that you're going to get. Exactly, drive down the prices as a group.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, if you can get that kind of critical mass, it's a win-win because there's direct money savings for the associations and more money goes into Pop Warner. Yeah. You're welcome. All good? Thanks, guys. Really appreciate all your help. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Butler, you're on, sir.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Before I start into anything, I want to wish a happy Father's Day to those of you who are fathers in the crowd. So enjoy it. I'm going to follow up on what Stuart has said and what Jack said earlier, without getting too far into the details. As far as the business model, PW Authentic is a for-profit company wholly owned by Pop Warner Little Scholars, the nonprofit. And the reason it's done that way is to avoid paying unrelated business income tax to the IRS. Unrelated business income tax is taxed at 37%. So we'd rather pay normal corporate taxes on those funds all the net proceeds from PW Authentic will come to the nonprofit. We will be distributing funds as they become available. We've already, as Stuart mentioned, already given away $10,000 worth of football and cheer uniforms, $5,000 worth of cheer practice t-shirts and shorts, and another sweepstakes coming up around the 1st of July. It also has enabled us, we've wanted for years to be able to do something to give back to the very local level. So we've announced a program where if you order uniforms, there are minimum quantities, which I'll mention, but if you order uniforms from PW Authentic, you do not have to pay national registration fees for the year. Jack, I know the regional folks just got this the other day. They've been distributing it, but it's a football team. If you order 16 or more uniforms, no national registration fees for that squad, that team. Medium and large cheer squads, 15 uniforms. Small cheer squads, it's $700 worth of uniforms. In each of those three cases, that means you don't have to pay national dues. So it's the first time we've ever been able to do anything to really directly benefit our local programs, and we're very happy to do that. So the other thing Jack had mentioned, the other exciting new news is working with Florida Citrus Sports. As Jack mentioned, most, if not all, of the championship games at our Super Bowl will be held in the Citrus Bowl itself, which right now is undergoing $60 million of improvements. But it's a great facility. The NFL Pro Bowl was played there the last few years. They host the Verbo Bowl as well as what is now the Cheez-It Bowl. So great partners. I'd say they are. Several of us from the office were down last or 2 weeks ago, and for meetings. They're really excited to be working with us. Really looking forward to the event. We're also working with them with Universal Studios, so there will be presence at the venues of characters from Universal. So I've got to learn a whole new list of characters. Forget the Disney characters and talk about Optimus Prime and the Minions and Harry Potter and stuff. So should be a lot of fun. They will host a party in Universal Studios theme park, just as Disney did during our event there. They will host a party in Universal Studios theme park, just as Disney did. Anything else for me? Any questions, comments? Anything else for me? Any questions, comments?
John asked us a few weeks ago how we could increase our communication level with the presidents, and John has instituted we're going to do a timely Zoom meeting with the presidents and John to keep communications up so you can have some insight directly from him. That's pretty cool, and I'm going to make sure all of the Mid-America presidents jump on that next one. I hope you all enjoyed the last one. I thought it was helpful. Thanks for doing that, John.
Sure, happy to.
All right, any questions for John? This is your chance. Yep. Got some wishes for Happy Father's Day to you as well, John. All right, any questions for John?
Thank you.
This is your chance. All right, I don't think we have any questions in the room. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you. Take care, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the opportunity.
As you could hear, he had the live stream on in the background, so he had the delay going there. So it is working. All right, we're going to go back, try to get back on track with the agenda here. And we may have to switch around a little bit more again later. We've got a couple other Zoom calls with some vendors that weren't able to be here. I did want to circle back on one thing that Dennis brought up. Yes, in all deference to Pop Warner Authentic and them getting uniforms right, for the time being, all uniforms must be approved by Larry at the regional level. And the reason for that is for consistency. I don't want you to have to think, okay, I'm buying from this person. Do I have to do it or not? Send all your uniform proofs to Larry. We'll get them approved, okay? Any questions about that? All football uniforms have to be approved by the region, okay? All right. With that, I'm going to bring up Mr. Chris Brooks. Oh, I'm sorry. Sure. So if you're the home team, you're going to wear a dark jersey. If you're the away team, you're going to wear a white jersey. Okay? So dark and white. Okay? And actually, in 2024, the Federation rules are actually going to define dark for you. Right now, there's no definition. But that's the next iteration of the rules is going to be actually define it. There will be pictures in the rule book of the various shades and really gray is the problem, right? You know, you can have, there's 100,000 shades of gray. Which one's dark, which one's light? You might think one's dark, I might think it's light. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. If it was approved last year and you have not made any changes, those jerseys are good. If there's any question, just send it to us. Any question in anybody's mind, if you have something. The easiest thing is, no matter who you buy your uniforms from, they should send you a full color proof of the front and the back, right? I'm assuming no one's going to buy a jersey without seeing that. So just send that to Larry. As he said yesterday, if he has any question, he's going to get with me. We may confer with Larry. We'll make sure that you're legal, and then you won't have any issues. Believe me, you don't want those issues. All right, without further ado, Mr. Brooks.
Thank you guys very much. I'll say it again, Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. We're excited to have everybody here this weekend, the new leagues and stuff we have. So real quick, my portion is sort of short and sweet. We're excited to announce, if you guys didn't hear it yesterday, relationship we're going to have with Maryville. That's where we're going to be our new regional championship facility. We're excited about it. It's a brand new place. They got some pictures up here on the screen. It's the Dean and Barbara White Career Center they've built over there. Brand new turf field. The facility itself is just outstanding. The complex, the indoor complex is second to none. We were very fortunate ourselves, Jack and Tim and myself. We got to go take a tour there. Something that I think could be utilized for every aspect of Pop Warner and what we do as Mid-America. So we're excited with that. A couple real quick things that we're going to do. First of all, league presidents. In the back of the room, before you leave, we have some boxes of mouthpieces back there for you, footballs, goodie bag. So please take those boxes with you. Those are for the league presidents to take back. So make sure you find your name on the boxes back there, and please help yourself to those. We're excited to give you a little kickoff, to start this new year. With a lot of leagues not being able to play last year, we're excited to kick this year off and just hope everybody has an outstanding year. So just a few little goodie things to get you going. The facility, obviously, everybody knows how we do things at, a lot of you have been to our regional championships, sub-regional, regional championships. So real quick, the night before your games, obviously, we have our face-offs, weigh-ins and everything, your book checks, all real important stuff. You guys need to be attended. When we're weighing in, you're weight-based, you're age-based, you're doing the face-offs. Everything is going to be there, done right at the facility. They got practice fields and everything there, so it's going to be a good time there. Book checks, when you're coming there to regionals, you can ask Jamie how critical it is that your books are up to date, ready to go. We don't need to be doing it the night before your games when you're coming to regionals or sub-regionals, trying to make phone calls and get online to try to find a kid's report card or something. That stuff has to be done. It seems like every year we run into an issue that the books aren't correct or something. That's critical. That's got to start day one, getting that stuff ready. So when you get to come to the regionals and you see us, we're not dealing with that. Those should be wrapped up, ready to go. The night before also, we have the coaches meetings, which is mandatory for coaches to be at those meetings. I think we actually have a fine if you do not make those meetings. A lot of information goes on that night before our regional and sub-regional games. It's your opportunity where you have Larry and Tim and Larry Babcock there, these referees. You know, we had our coaches meetings yesterday. You know, of course, there's no questions right now because the season hasn't started. But by the time you guys are getting to regionals, you know, now you got questions. You know, what about this rule? How are we doing this? Well, we did this way in our leagues, our association games all year. Well, that's not how it's going to be here. So those are the times to be able to have an opportunity to sit, talk with them, and get all those questions out before the game. We're not in the middle of the game trying to figure something out. So a lot of great information when we have those coaches meetings the night before. You know, it's also, we give the field passes for your roster, just the rostered coaches. We hand out your field passes and everything that night, you know, so a lot of good stuff on that. At game day we do the same thing. We'll have a face-off. Before the game, we'll have your team line up. We're going to do a face-off for all the teams. Biggest thing we're looking for is we're checking the kids' equipment. Biggest thing is we keep our children safe out there. I think that's critical. That's a big part of Pop Warner is the safety factor. We've all seen different leagues, AYF, UIF, and everything. Pop Warner's second to none on how we take care of our kids. I think that's very important. For us as a region, for sure, it's very important. Sportsmanship. Sorry, question. Oh yeah. So that's one of the things. Yeah, we ran into a situation at Crown Point this past year. By the time you guys are coming to regionals, I shouldn't be looking at your helmet and seeing a 2015 sticker, certification sticker. That's ridiculous. How can you put that helmet on a kid and put him out on the field? That helmet hasn't even been certified. So this coming season, your associations, be looking at those helmets when you're handing out equipment this year. It has to have 2019, 2020, or 2021 sticker on that helmet. Period. Yes, sir. It's on the inside. Yep. Yes. Right. So he said, yeah, obviously, like from Shut or whatever, they say they're not the sticker on there, but they have it. And one thing we found it, like this year actually, we find it, we have to take the earpieces out of some of them helmets, and they're inside underneath the earpiece. Or if you'll look at on the face mask, they got a tiny print, you know, I mean, so it's like they're trying to hide it from us for something, for crying out loud. I don't understand. But yeah, I mean, really, they were like, you know, and it was just a fluke. I think Babcock might have found it this past year. We're like, oh my gosh, it's on the face mask on some of the new helmets. Oh, you didn't do that? Was that you? My apologies. I don't like to give Babcock any credit for anything anyway, so. Yes. So I think it's 10 years, yeah, right? Yeah, life of a helmet life is 10 years. So after 10 years, I mean, I'll be honest with you, as a coach, I'm not putting my kids in a helmet after 2 years probably. You know, let's get them recertified. But yeah, a helmet life is 10 years, and then you know you need to be purchasing some new ones. Simple as that. Yeah, that's my stance on it. I'm sure the board probably has the same thing. I know Tim's shaking his head yes, but yeah, I mean that's cut and dry right there. Yeah, sure. Yep. Past 10 years are no good. Nope. I'd get rid of them. Right. So, just to highlight that, like I said, by the time you get to regionals, we ran into a situation this year. You know, we were very fortunate, our regionals at LaPorte this year, where they have helmets up in the attic up there, where we were able to help out a couple of teams that came to regionals. I mean, we're not going to have that luxury this year. Maryville's not going to give us half a dozen helmets to put on those kids to swap out. You know what I mean? So we were very fortunate, but I mean, it's very possible we got a kid running off the field trying to put a helmet on, switching it, giving it to another kid. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. Yeah, right. We appreciate that, Dennis. But yeah, make sure league presidents, association presidents and stuff, make sure all your associations are updated, getting their stuff done, you know, well before, should be done before the season starts, and definitely before you guys get to us at sub-regionals and regionals. Am I doing? So anybody with any questions for me? Yes, sir, Devin. So you can see right here. Yeah, that's the picture. Leave it right there. Yeah, actually, that's who's got that little laser? Who's hitting the laser on there? Yeah. So no, that's cool. That's perfect. I didn't know we had that. But right to the right of it, on the top right, it says warm-up area. So you can see the field. So the warm-up area, that's a player drop-off where he's got the laser. Yep. Yeah, right there. Yep. It's actually sort of they're fixing that up. By the time we get there, I mean, it very well could have snow on the ground by then. You know, we all know that. We'll be freezing our butts off at regionals. You know, we don't have the luxury of Florida, so. But. He's giving you the hook. Give me the hook. All right. All right. They're cutting me off. Sorry, question. Sorry. Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes to game day and stuff, yeah. Sure. And I think we'll make adjustments for that. Absolutely, Bud. Yeah. For the age-based teams, absolutely. I don't see why we couldn't do that and do that in the morning. Yeah, we'll definitely address that. I totally agree. Totally agree with you on that. Yep. Yeah, we didn't do that. Yeah, we didn't do that last year. We actually, yeah, we didn't do that. We had the team, the age base, do it the morning of the game. Like you said, it's a face-off, so we don't have to worry about it. The weighted divisions, that's different, obviously. We need to check them. So, absolutely, I agree with you on that. Yeah, right. Sure. Yep. Yep. Right. So just a quick point Jane's saying is like having the coaches have the books there before the game, so we have a chance to go through them. Not 10 minutes before the game. We got to be able to have time to get those checked. Yep. Anybody else? Questions? I'm always available throughout the season. I hope to see you all this year. Thank you very much. Have a great 2021, everybody.
So I do want to come back to one thing. You said we asked you to bring some documentation and all that. I apologize for extra work, but our focus there is to make sure the kids are safe. So we want to make sure that we got all the proper helmets certified, et cetera. So again, apologize for the extra work, but I'm not going to apologize for our focus and our goal there. So, okay, I want to bring up Matt Repchak from, I hope I said that right, from Florida Citrus Sports. He's going to talk about our exciting new facility in Orlando. Matt?
Good morning. Had a chance to talk to everybody yesterday a little bit about our football setup and about our cheer setup. Normally when I've been doing these presentations to other regions, it's been a 15-minute Zoom call, and I kind of rattle through everything real quick, and we close with Universal stuff. I'm going to send, right before I stepped up here, I sent Tim and Jack some links to what Universal's provided, so you guys can watch that on your own time. No point in us all staring at a screen at the same time, because it's pretty nice stuff that Universal puts together, but in a room like this, it's not as impactful. We're excited to be rolling towards the release of packages. Beth said they're going to be out in June, and if we've learned anything at FCS, it's not to mess with Beth, so packages will be out in June. Universal is getting us the last little pieces of what we need to do to get it ready to go. We took the 2019 packaging and said, how do we duplicate that? Like a one-to-one with a limit on the increase. It's like a 6% year-over-year increase. So for football, you may see a little bit different because it's been 2 years, but for cheer, we try to do 6% or less last year, and then 6% again, just for the usual cost bumps for hotels and things like that. So it should be very comparable packages to what you've seen before, and a lot of options. So if you want to add more things, then you can, but try to keep a baseline that is pretty close to what was seen before. The other thing I want to talk about, besides all the Universal hype's going to come. On the cheer side, you're going to see some material we'll put out that's more specific to the convention center and the setup in the next probably couple of weeks as well, along with packages, because our initial announcement was a lot of football, a lot of Camping World Stadium stuff. We know we need to come back and give a little bit more material for cheer to get everyone excited, so that should be coming out a little bit as well. I'll close on the FCS side with a little bit of background. So we've largely done college football events. We've done big sports type events. Our mission, as I mentioned to everybody, is just impact on our community and benefit for youth charities. But we started an effort 2 years ago to say, what other events can we get involved in? How do we expand beyond college football? If you're familiar with that world, you know it's changing quite a bit, and there's a chance that bowls like the Citrus Bowl don't have the same place in the world. So our whole effort was, how does our business model expand to do other things and things that fall into our core competency? How do we help provide the same participant experience to people at other events? Very early on, one of the first conversations we had on the youth side was with a different organization, an organization that you guys know probably only seems to talk about themselves in the context of Pop Warner. They always mention Pop Warner and what they do different. We never had a second conversation with that group. We met with John shortly after that. After we talked to Pop Warner the first time, our second conversation was with Disney, saying if you guys are not able to provide the dates, if whatever's going on at Wide World is not going to work, how do we keep this event in Orlando? How to give us a chance to partner with Pop Warner and maintain the level of experience what we believe is one of the world's best travel destinations. So the guy that runs Wide World of Sports sits on our board. He was very supportive of this. I think our effort with Universal is going to be great, but what we want to provide to you is an Orlando experience. So there's Universal as an option. That's our destination partner. The folks that want to come in and spend some time at Disney, you're more than welcome to. It's just a Cinderella magic versus wizard magic. You can add that onto your experience when you're here. And we believe that there'll be some opportunities for other attractions and things that we're going to try and build for you the way that we do for everybody else that comes to town for our events. So we're pretty excited about the potential for this event. And I think the other thing that I probably keep failing to mention is we call ourselves a partner. Pop Warner is participating in the success of this event. So a lot of that money in previous years, kind of similar to something Stuart was saying, is a lot of that money was going to Disney. That was money that was leaving families, going straight to Disney. There wasn't a lot of participation for Pop Warner. the model that we've crafted with FCS and Pop Warner partnering, there's going to be direct revenue to Pop Warner for participation in this event. The more people come, the more people are at the championship events, the better it's going to be for the organization nationally and you know, all the way down the system going forward. So that's what the potential of that is really exciting to us. We've been talking a lot about how do we get ourselves back to the numbers we had in 2019, because we think it's going to be great for Pop Warner, and it's going to be great for Orlando. So I sent some links in. I can take some questions now, and I also you guys can share my my information so I can answer any questions later. Dennis. Yeah. Yep, that's the packages. We have a little internal date that I'm afraid to mention because we may not get it, but it's got to be before the end of June. So we should have the grid that lists all the different hotel properties. And they're working on, Universal is working on the manual that comes with it that will show the overall map. All the facilities are really tight, like compared to the Disney footprint. And believe me, I don't want the Mickey Mafia coming after me. We love Disney. But the footprint of our hotels is pretty, like Cabana Bay and Sapphire Falls are like right across the street from each other. Aventura is right there. I'm sorry, yeah, Cabana Bay. And then Endless Summer is the one that's, the Cheer headquarter hotel is just a little bit down the street. Yes, sir. Fair. And the one thing I do keep forgetting to mention on the Universal side is the party on, I believe it's the 7th, is going to be the entire Universal Studios Florida park. So we're going to have kind of the run of the park that night, along with all the other programming that's got to go. So, and that's the well, Universal Studios, the other side, Islands of Adventure, won't be. It'll be available for the tickets, but it won't be part of the party. Dennis, are you sure? All right. Okay. Thank you for having me this weekend. Happy Father's Day to everybody. We're looking forward to hosting you in Orlando in December.
Thank you, Matt. And to Dennis's question, we're aware that everybody's looking for that information. So I know the national office is working closely with FCS. As soon as we get it, we'll get it to you. Obviously, the faster we start planning for those things, the better. All right. As I said before, we blew up the agenda already, so we're going to keep blowing it up. We're going to go ahead and take a 15-minute break. So if you could be back at, give me about 20 till. Be back at about 20 till. And then we'll get started, and we're going to open up with USA Football with Jamie, okay? Everybody knows where there's refreshments out here in the walkway, and the restrooms are outside. Thank you. So, without further ado, Jamie Fletcher is our certification director. She also spent way too many hours at Crown Point last year with all of us. So, Jamie, take it away.
Okay, so I also, for Mid-America, I do the USA Football certification. So I'm just gonna talk about USA Football for a little while. They did send me a PowerPoint. I'm not gonna use it. I'm just gonna talk through it instead. So, why we use them. We use USA Football to help organize, lead, strengthen, and grow your organizations. Why we work with them? Because they simplify our process and they help us grow. By simplifying, they provide us with resources, connections, partnerships, great grant opportunities. We get recognition through promoting through social media, and we highlight those that rise to meet the standards expected by athletes and parents. For growth, the belief is that this game changes lives, and we do too. And so we are just trying to expand that positive impact on our youth. The options they use the football development model to help create more entry points, and they research and educate to set direction and standards for growth. So when you enroll with USA Football, you get some great benefits. You get resources and tools that develop parents, participants, and coaches. It helps simplify your operations, empower and educate your coaches so they're better coaches, helps you gain recognition from your league, and grow your organization. Enrollment organizations are taking the first steps toward expanding grant offerings, the League Excellent Program, and the League Finder. So, they offer a bunch of different certification models with a ton of resources included. You have a dashboard, they have plays, they have stuff on concussions, heat and heart lessons, safety stuff, blocking and tackling drills, tons of resources. Is everybody enrolled in USA Football, all the leagues? Awesome. If you're not, come see me. I'll help you.
Jamie, there was a question on the online. They wanted to know how to get more information regarding the grant opportunities. If you know.
They post it on the dashboard, and also if you're enrolled in USA Football, they usually send you an email with the grant opportunities as well. I get them for Mid-America too. They think they send them to anybody that's enrolled. Yes, they do.
Jane, is that something we can put on our site, a link to that? Okay, perfect.
They also have a program, it's called the League Excellence Program, and it's based upon the percentage of coaches you have enrolled in USA Football. When I spoke to the representative, the League Excellence Program, they tried to roll it out last year, but with COVID, it wasn't a very good rollout, so they're trying it again this year. If you have questions about the League Excellence Program, the representative, I have his phone number and his email, so see me after if you would like more information about it, and I will get that to you. Just some other stuff I want to talk about. When you enroll I want you to enroll your league, and then all your towns, all your associations need to enroll under your league, and then all of your coaches, when they go to take the test, they need to enroll themselves and associate with their town. And why I say that is because if your coaches associate with your town president, who should be the administrator of their USA Football account, and the league president, who's the administrator of the league, should be able to pull them up by name and print their certificate. So if they say, oh, I did it, I just didn't print it, okay, well, if you associated correctly, I can pull it up for you and we'll just look at it. If they don't associate with your town, you can't look it up like that. You have to contact USA Football. It takes a couple days for them to get back to you. Also, I can pull everybody's up, so I have access to all the leagues and all the towns. So same thing like at regional playoffs, if they come and they say, oh, I can't find my certificate. Okay, well, I can pull it up as long as they've associated with the town. So please try and make them do that. If they've already taken a test and they didn't associate with your town, just contact me and I can move it. some testing stuff this year. They did roll out a recertification process. So if you were certified in USA football last year, the recert is about 30 to 45 minutes instead of that 4-hour test. It costs $15 across the board, unless your towns or whatever pay for the coaches, but it's $15 a test. For Indiana, just as a side note, because I got the email, for Indiana, USA football, the Indianapolis Colts have volunteered to pay for all the Indiana coaches. I did send out a code for that for the Indiana people. If you don't have it and you need it, come see me. I have it too. I don't have anything else. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah. Cheer coaches aren't required to take USA football. Okay. I think so. It didn't specify football or cheer. It just said that they were going to pay for all the youth coaches. So if not, let me know and I can get a hold of the rep. Okay. All right. If there's no other questions, I will turn it back over to Mr. Lucas. Yes, team moms do have to take team moms have to be certified just like a football coach if they're on your roster. Yes. Everybody on your roster has to be certified.
Yes. Thank you, Jamie. Great job. So again, in the spirit of reworking the world here, we got a Zoom call for a vendor presentation at 11:30, so I'm trying to work around that, so bear with me. So Patty Kirkwood, our fantastic scholar director, will be coming up to talk to you. She also helped organize the event last night, so give her a big hand.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Just want to give you a brief recap of our breakout yesterday. Amazing ladies and gentlemen that were there that attended. During the breakout, we shared some tools that the national office has given us and also tools that we have received from other regions to help us out, the GPA conversion, et cetera, that kind of thing. We talked about expectations. And we also talked about that we're never going to say the word pandemic again. So, because it's not there. 2021, we had a regional scholastic recognition. We wanted the children to know that we were right there by their side, that we did not forget them. We wanted them to know that we know how important it is and how tough it was for them, especially this year. Not only them, but the parents, but we wanted them to know that we were not going to let this go undone. Mid-America, in the very beginning, there was never a doubt whether or not we were going to recognize our scholars and make sure that they knew that we were right there by their side. I wasn't supposed to go till later, but that's okay. We had over 500 applications for All-American Scholars this year, which was fantastic, better than we anticipated. I put a challenge out to the people at the Scholar Workshop yesterday, and I asked them, I says, all right, give me a prediction on numbers for 2022. So we were as low as 600, boo, and we were as high as 2340. Michigan's, man, she wants us to get going for it. So I've got their little numbers in there, and we're going to give them a little prize and see who's closest. So I'm really happy about that. Eligibility. Eligibility is a big thing. Scholastics is not just All-American Scholars. Scholastics is also eligibility. We are not here, we are not in the business to D&Q anybody, to disqualify anybody. We are here to make sure that they all qualify as much as we possibly can, plus give them the encouragement to improve their grades. If they've got less than a 2.0, we're going to work really hard to make sure that happens. But we need your help here in this audience. We need you to bring this back to your associations and bring it back to your coaches and say, hey, listen, we need to help this kid. Build him up. You build them up on the floor for cheerleading and cheer. Hey, I got this. But you build them up on the field. So we need to also build them up for the classroom. And I know the coaches can do that. Some of the associations do not help us with scholastics. They leave it to their team mom, and I get it. They got a big job on that field to take care of that and on the floor with the cheerleading. But we need to get these kids involved and the parents involved. It's not that hard. It's really not that easy. We keep it simple. We keep it direct. We give them their training. But we need your help. And I think the biggest part of it is communication. How's scholastics going? Just ask that question. Just say, how are scholastics going? Are we going to do this? Let's do it more. Mid-America should be on top. Okay. Each league, if you want me to help you with the workshop, I'd be happy to come out and help you out. We did this a few years ago. It was very successful. We went from 400 applications to over 1,000. We want to make that even more this year. Just want to touch on Pop Warner Authentic. I want to change their name, but they won't let me. We used them for our scholar banquet this year. We had the t-shirts and we had the jerseys. Their art department, creative, design, professional, friendly, work with you, and they were on time. They were 2 days early with the merchandise that I ordered from them, and very easy to work with. Very, very easy to work with. So the last thing that I want you to know is that the scholar people, every year we try to come up with a motto. This year I came up with, act as if you make what, act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. That's it. Thank you. Oh, should I ask if they have any questions? Do you have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. No, Dennis gets no more soup tonight. We already decided that. So, all right. So, again, in the spirit of flexibility, thank you, Patty. Millie, if you want to come up and Millie's our region cheer and dance coordinator. She's going to give us a recap of cheer and dance for the year.
Hi there. First off, I want to wish everybody a very happy Father's Day. Thank you so much for giving up a part of your day to be here with us today. Because of that, I'm going to give you a present. I am not going to speak for 30 minutes. I'm just going to do a real quick recap. Yeah, you can go ahead and applaud. It's cool. Okay, so yesterday we had a breakout meeting with the cheer coordinators, and I gave them a binder. In that binder is pretty much everything they need to know for this year. It had all the Waikato new rules. I did it in colors so they could see everything updated in red. I gave them all the forms they're going to need, except for, of course, birth certificate and report card that they're going to need for their certification book. I also gave them the dates, the registration forms, and the pre-orders for the 2 regional competitions that we do. We do the Princess Gala, which will be October 10th for the Tinies and Mighties in LaPorte at the Civic Center. And also November 10th will be the Regional Cheer and Dance Championships that will be at Northern Illinois University. They have all the information, costs, everything else in their pack. Did I say the 10th? Sorry, November 7th. Is the NIU competition. They have all the costs involved in it. They have the pre-order forms. That way they could go ahead and do their budgets before they start their season. One thing, Mid-America was only one of 2 regions last year that was able to pull off a regional competition. Us in the Southeast region were the only ones able to do it. Thanks to LaPorte helping us with the Civic Center, and it was actually a pretty good event. We sent about 20 teams to the national competition. The way the RDs are doing their meeting with presidents and John Butler, the RCDCs and the league coordinators are also having monthly meetings with Lisa Murawski, online Zoom meetings. If you are a league coordinator and you're not getting information, let me know. Send me your email, and I will get you put on Lisa's distribution list, but she does it once a month with LCDCs across the country, so you have a way of asking questions at, to the national level. She has also created a Facebook page for coaches, just a coach's corner that you could go on, you could ask questions, you could go ahead and communicate with other coaches around the country. That is by invite, so you would have to go on Facebook to Pop Warner Cheer and Dance Coordinators, say that you're interested. It sends an invite to Lisa. Lisa checks roster software to make sure that you are indeed a Pop Warner coach, because that is just for us, nobody else. And let's see, national competition. This year, again, will be at the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida. Warm-ups will be Sunday, December 5th, and then the competition is slated for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday following. We don't know about Wednesday yet because we don't have the numbers, but we do have the 3 days. I was at the competition last year, and considering COVID was at its height right now, they pulled off a great competition. The Florida Citrus people were wonderful. And from what I've seen about the competition coming up this year, it's going to be a great event for the kids. Let's see, my last thing is to remind all you league presidents, please remember that you are league presidents for football, for scholastics, and for spirit, okay? The spirit side should have equal weight with the other two sides that you have. Aside from being a part that Pop Warner is a three-headed monster, it's the right thing to do. A lot of you guys have girls and boys that want to do the cheer and dance component. You should be offering them the same type of program, the same quality program that you guys are offering the football side and the scholastics. Any questions? Of course, Dennis. Yes. We'll see. Yeah, I'm sure they will be, but you have Dee sitting here saying we'll see. Okay. The venues are going to be about 15 minutes apart, as far as I know, but the housing for the for the spirit, I shouldn't say girls because it's girls and boys. The housing for the spirit and the football side will be on site at one of the 3 Universal properties, so they'll be really close to each other. Yeah. And Dee is already looking at you saying you have to go through Michigan first. Any other questions? All right, thanks, guys. You guys have a wonderful Father's Day. Be safe driving home.
Thank you, Millie. All right, thank you, Millie. And again, Dennis, no soup for you. So we're going to keep kind of moving things around a little bit. We're going to jump to Treasurer's Report from Bill Heyman. Again, Bill put all this IT together with the hotel here, and if you want to get a headache, go look at his setup. It's crazy.
All right, thank you guys. Mid-America Pop Warner is currently financially solvent. As you guys know, we are an open book. If you need to see or review anything, please, by all means, reach out to me. I can go through everything from financial structure, QuickBooks, whatever you need, I can provide that for you, so definitely reach out. The biggest item that I have currently is in regards to insurance coming up. John Butler, our national director, did send out a memo recently. You guys have not seen that. I have been reviewing it, and this is what we have. For the 2021 season, the Pop Warner insurance program has liability coverage that includes concussion claims. Note, there is an aggregate concussion limit of $4 million. Given the importance of having liability coverage for concussions, if you take other non-Pop Warner liability insurance, we will need proof that your liability coverage does include concussion coverage. Does everybody understand that? So if you are taking a third-party insurance provider and you are not going through Pop Warner National Office for your insurance, you will have to have a concussion claim inside of that insurance policy. All right? A rider, yeah. Excuse me? That will be on your affidavit, that your insurance form that you will provide to us. So coverage for accidental medical maintains options for $0, $250, and $500 deductibles to meet that needs of your organization. So nothing has changed there. You do have 3 options through Pop Warner. The program has affirmative coverage for year-round spirit and cheer activities. If you take other coverage and offer year-round spirit and cheer, you will need to provide evidence that your coverage will respond to year-round activities as well. All right, so if you are participating in year-round cheer, you do need to have that as well. If you need any further assistance with the insurance stuff, by all means, please reach out to me. The liability, the proof of coverage is going to need to be to me at the regional level at least 1 week prior to August 1st. I need to get that off to the national office. You can anticipate it taking a couple days, so your associations are going to probably send it off to you. It'll take a couple days. Send it to me. It's going to take me a couple days to get through it, and then I'll send it off to the national office, and they'll review and approve. If you are not approved by August 1st, you cannot start practicing. All right? Dennis? We have not decided to change. Yeah. There has been no changes regarding the regional fees, so that still stays in place. Same with nationals. National fees have remained the same as well. All right. Does anybody have any other questions? D. Yes, to further elaborate on that, we will follow the typical chain of command. Associations will report to their leagues will report directly to me, and then I will report to Beth. It's just to keep them from being overwhelmed. It's just entirely too many people reporting to one individual, and it's just not appropriate anymore. So, yeah, please follow the chain of command. Anything in addition to that? All right, thanks so much, guys.
All right, thank you, Bill. I'm going to pull this thing out. So since we're talking about money, Jack reminded me that we need to thank Chicagoland and Northern Indiana Pop Warner for their sponsorship of the event last night. So thank you very much. I know, Bud, you probably didn't know that, but you paid for some last night. Thank you both for your generosity. Okay. We're gonna punt down to the bottom here, and Patty Kirkwood is going to come up and talk about our volunteers of the year. Patty.
Okay. Every year, Mid-America and each one of the regions puts in 2 volunteers of the year that they deem appropriate and deserving of this prestigious award. This year, Mid-America has 2 nominees for Volunteer of the Year. Our female Volunteer of the Year comes from Chicagoland. Her name is Cheryl Lassen. She is the secretary of the Chicagoland board. And Bud, I'm going to have you talk a little bit about Cheryl. No, I won't give him a mic.
You really put me on the spot, Millie.
My intention.
Or Millie, Patty. I get you guys all mixed up. There's Cheryl is in all our board members, but the spotlight is on Cheryl here. It's the amount of work that she puts in. She even last year, or I should say 2019, because we really didn't have a COVID season, but to handle close to 50 associations and 4, 5, 6,000 kids going through the books and everything that she does. And it's not just the past few seasons. She's been a great volunteer since she came on board with Chicagoland Pop Warner, and our conference wouldn't grow without her because of how well structured that our conference is. So any allocates that go to our conference certainly rely on the board members because I'm just a pretty face. Everybody else on the board does all the hard work, and Cheryl is well deserving of this, and I couldn't think of anybody better than Cheryl.
Yeah, I was going to do that. Our male volunteer of the year, male volunteer of the year is Mr. William Heyman. He's from Northern Indiana. We're going to have Jack talk a little bit about Bill.
Dennis, we didn't want to hit you. You've had enough night time.
It was strategic.
Let me say right up front, I didn't have any input on this. This is done without me. But Bill came from us. He was the president of one of our stellar programs in Indiana, Chesterton. He was a young man when he was the president of that program. For some reason, they moved him out. I don't know how those things work in the associations, little politics. We saw that this guy was a diamond in the rough. At that time, I was the league president, so I'm going to take the credit for this. We brought him onto our Indiana board at the time. He's blossomed into on the regional board. He's the treasurer for Indiana. He runs all these type of things. He's just Mr. Everything for us, and we love him. And thank you for sharing with us Chesterton, Northern Indiana. He's a great guy, and this is long time overdue to get. Bill, will you step in here, please? Where you at? There he is. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for everything. Thank you.
No. What happens in Florida stays in Florida. So we will be honoring these two individuals, very deserving individuals, at our Scholastic Banquet, which I failed to it will be April 3rd of 2022. We will send their names into the national office, and they will be honored and recognized and put in a book up there as well, and receive a jacket and plaque from them. And we will definitely take care of them and celebrate this wonderful nomination and appointment for the National Volunteers of the Year from Mid-America Pop Warner.
Thank you, Patty. Okay, Larry Babcock's going to come up and give us a football update. You all will be happy to know that he has a 20-minute hard stop because we have the Zoom call at 11:30. I thought everybody would appreciate that. That was strategically done. Very good. Here you go, Larry.
Good morning. A couple of things with football. I felt like last season was a very successful season, and that's a tribute to our regional director, Jack Arnett, and Southeast Regional Director, Dennis Connors. So if we can give those guys a round of applause, last year would not have happened without them. So I feel like we're in a good spot from a football standpoint. We touched on in the football breakouts yesterday the rule changes that are coming up with the National Federation and Pop Warner. I'm happy to say that we only have one rule change from the National Federation, and I think just two rule changes that pertain to nothing in the playing rules. So the playing rules are good. The game is safe as it's been in a very long time, and I'm very happy about that. Javon Green, Javon, stand up for me, buddy. Javon was appointed as our football commissioner, so he's underneath myself and Tim. We're excited to have Javon. If we ever get him to give up that coaching nonsense, then we can, have him full time. But Javon's awesome. Many of you guys coached against him. He brings a lot to the table, and we were excited when Jack brought it to me and to Tim Arvanitis. We were extremely, yes, let's go. And I think that was a recommendation from Bud as well. And we're very happy to have Javon on board and helping us in the football operations department. Any questions on the football side? Have a good day.
Sorry, I'm stunned for a moment. I'm going to have to recover here. Wow. I gave him 20 minutes and he took 3. I'm not sure what to do here because we have a hard stop. We have the Zoom call at 11:30. So, wow. Jane, how much time do you need? Where'd she go? Jane? Oh, Jane lost her chance. That's right. Well, I'm trying to move things along. All right, well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and take another break. since the first session was really long. Let's be back here by 11:30 in your seats, please. We have the Zoom call. We'll have people calling in for the vendor presentation, okay? So 11:30. Thank you. Laying down on the job. Look at that. All right. So Frank Moore is going to come out. He's going to introduce the vendor. But I want to say something really quick about Frank and his role. Frank was as Jack mentioned earlier, Frank was our vice region director for a number of years and served us well. Jack asked him to take on a new role as our safety commissioner. So it's a brand new role, and we're not really sure exactly how it's going to go. It's a role that we created after COVID, not because of COVID, but after COVID, because we realized that we could be impacted by a safety problem anywhere. So we're trying to build a little infrastructure in, and we'll keep you posted as how it's going to go, but we think it's going to be a very important position, and we're very, very happy that Frank accepted that role. Frank Moore.
Morning, everybody. All right, so we have one vendor today, and it's Sterling Volunteers. We're all familiar with the background checks that we know Pop Warner does, background checks on our volunteers. So the volunteers from Sterling, and we have Troy Gerber with us. Troy, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Can you see me?
All right, great. Well, thanks for joining us today, and you have the floor.
Hey, well, happy Father's Day to everybody here. I'm out in Phoenix right now, and I'm about to have some brunch. So let's talk about background checks. I'm going to share my screen, so let me know if you can see that.
Yes, we can see it. We can see it.
Okay, that sounds great. So we're just going to take you through, I just got like 6 slides. We'll talk about the criminal background check packages and so forth that we have for Pop Warner. We've been a trusted partner with the national office for about 5 years. Last year we did an exclusive offering for Pop Warner, and we're going to walk a little bit through some of those options today and talk a little bit about the features of our program for those that aren't familiar with Sterling Volunteers. It used to be known as Verified Volunteers. We changed our name a couple of years ago, but same great company, same great service. We're supporting about 175 association leagues around the country. We serve in background checks for not-for-profit space since 2013 in our division, and the largest sector in that not-for-profit space happens to be sports. So we're doing thousands and thousands of coaches and officials every week. I think some of those organizations have over 150,000 coaches that we're serving outside of certain sports like soccer and football, certain to be 2 big sports that we're serving. Some of the success we're having is pretty much built on how our platform's designed and how it behaves. It's pretty flexible for associations and leagues to design that works for them. For example, I have leagues in New York and California and all over that kind of own the background check account and then build it out based on whether they want their associations to run their own background checks or maybe the league wants to run all the background checks for the associations and take it out of their hands. So there's some flexibility in design that come free and out of the box with Sterling Volunteers. So that's kind of hip and modern for coaches and officials that want an easy-use platform. And then this is an all volunteer-run organization, right? So it's got to be easy for the administrators as well, and it is. And we'll talk a little bit about that down the road. But moving forward, traditionally, we've seen in background checks some cheap background check prices, and some of that database searches that were being run historically were kind of stale and out of date. So a lot of associations weren't getting the hit rates that they wanted or finding criminal records. So what we ended up doing at Sterling is building a custom package for Pop Warner that doesn't limit even our most basic packages to one database. We have a multi-layer approach to our background check services for Pop Warner. So we're going to use those databases, but we're overlaying those databases with real-time searches. For example, the Department of Justice provides us with the National Sex Offender Public Website Search. It's the only place in America to get real-time level 3 sex offenders from across the country in one search. So every background check offering that we have for Pop Warner is going to do a DOJ National Sex Offender website search, and then we're also going to overlay that with a National Criminal File search, and then we have another search that we're throwing on there called the Locator Select, which is basically a jail scan. It's looking for criminal records from over 2,000 sheriff's offices and jails. If we find a hit in any of these databases, it will tell us which courthouse to go to, and we'll follow up our database searches with an actual court record search and validate those hits at the primary source and report those back to you. So we're not going to report directly from these databases. If we do find a hit, we will do that confirmation behind the scenes on your behalf. So we do have two primary packages that we're seeing being used across the country. We have one that's $6.75 per order and an $11 package. The main difference between those two is the $11 package does force us to go to the courthouse on every single order, where the basic and Locator Select package for $6.75 is relying on those databases solely. And if there is a hit, then we'll go to the courthouse, if that makes sense. Nationally, right now, the trend is a 60-40 split. I would say probably in the last month it's shifted a little bit more. People are looking at the $6.75 package just in the last 30 days. We're adding more and more Pop Warner associations from California and in the Midwest. The payment options, you have 4 of them. At Sterling, we can collect the payment 100% from the volunteer. So not only can we build you a free background check account, you might not even have to pay for your background checks. If you want the volunteer to pay, we can make that happen. If you would like us to build a league or the association, we can make that happen. One of the most popular options we have is we tell that coach or the volunteer how much the background check is going to impact the not-for-profit, and we'll let them know, hey, if you would like to make a quote-unquote contribution on behalf, we'll go ahead and take your payment now. And by us asking for a contribution on your behalf, about 35% of the cost of the background checks are being picked up by the coach, even though they're not required to, if that makes sense. So that's a pretty popular payment option is, hey, if the coach is able to pay, let them pay. If we don't want to require them to pay, they don't have to, right? So it's kind of a win-win there. As far as the technology goes, I did say it's free to join. It builds you an online administrative account. Say you got 50 volunteers you got to screen. You can push out invitations with either a custom URL that we can publish for your league or association, or you can send out manual invites from our system. And an invitation or invite is just an email that goes out from our servers, and it goes right out to the coach volunteer. They click on a link and can register for their background check underneath your account with 4 easy steps. They can do it on any mobile device, or PC or Mac. And it'll only take them a few minutes to actually provide us with the consent forms and the releases that we need, as well as their personal identifying information. So if you don't want to collect the Social Security or date of birth, you don't have to. We'll do it directly with the coach and leave you out of it, which is great. Our turnaround times, are less than 16 hours for these background checks. So you're not going to be waiting longer than a day, most likely, unless there's a rap sheet somewhere and we have to, dig at the courthouses for it. But overall, it's pretty easy to join. You can go out to the Pop Warner website and click on offers there, and I'll get an email, or you can just email me directly. Once you do email me, I'm going to need a packet of information back from you. So I will email you a DocuSign and get that setup packet of information I need. And on that packet, it's going to be like, who the administrators are, who do you want to bill for the background checks, how do you want to set up your account, kind of thing. It takes me about 3 business days to actually construct that account with our team. And then once we do that, we'll, issue you guys your login credentials, and you're off and running. So all in all, less than a week to set it up. And then once that's set up, the background checks take an average of 16 hours. So pretty convenient and slick. And we're working with the Pop Warner National Office now to get rid of that volunteer application that does collect a little bit of consent for background checks. So if you're going with Sterling volunteers, you won't need to collect that volunteer paper application with the personal identifying information on it. we're going to do that naturally on your behalf. So that's all I got. Fast and furious, 10 minutes. That's about what I allotted. So I don't know if there's going to be some Q&A, but if I got plenty of time for it if you want me to hold on.
That'd be great, Troy. Does anybody have any questions for Troy? Yes. Dee, let me give you the microphone so he can hear you.
Thank you for your presentation. From a league perspective, is there a way for us to verify that an association has really done background checks?
Yes.
Any validation?
So I just set one up in Palomar League out in California, where the league joins as a parent account at Sterling. And what we're seeing, and that I haven't seen in years past because I've been here for 7 years, is that the leagues are running the background checks on the association presidents and vice presidents in their own league account at Sterling, right? So if you got 15 leagues, you're going to be doing like 30 background checks, right? Maybe more. Underneath the league, we're getting a list of the current 2021 associations from the league office. The league office is providing Sterling with the presidents of those leagues, and I'm sending out DocuSign contracts to the associations and build an account for the association under the league account. So you have a parent-child relationship. We would give you access as a league office to view any orders in their child accounts. So you'll have transparency to it. The associations, when they log in, they're only going to have access to their association they're assigned to. So they're the ones that can send out the invitations and get the results. The league can come in and view all of the activity that's going on. Does that make sense?
So just for clarification, are you saying that in essence, kind of like with USA Football, if they register with their league, the associations, that'll give us some kind of visibility? Is it going to be that kind of a setup, or am I missing the big picture?
It's pretty close. You know, the league's going to be a client, and so is the association. You can do it one of two ways setup. If the league wants to take and manage the entire background check program, they can do so. If the league wants to pay for it, the league wants to administer it, and I do have leagues like that. I got Tri-Valley in New York is doing it that way. That's one way of setting it up. If you want full control and administer the whole program, you can do that. If you just want to monitor the program and not administer it, then have the association sign up individually with Sterling under your, and we'll put them under your league account, right? Manually, we'll put them there so that you can see. So if you want the associations to be responsible for sending out the invitations for background checks, or maybe you would like Sterling to invoice the associations, and give the associations the choice of who's paying for it, you can set it up that way. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to Sterling how it's set up. We just need to have that discussion around how you would like it. How much control do you need? Who's paying for it? There's some factors in there about which path. Do you go the Palomar League path or the Tri-Valley League path? There's two different paths, but at the end of the day, it's all the same setup. You always have that league as a parent account and association as a child account within your own account, if that makes sense.
Okay, we got some head nodding going on here. I think you answered their question well. Bottom line is there's accountability. The leagues will be able to tell, leagues and associations will be able to tell who's background checked. Any other questions for Troy while we got him? Anything else? Okay. Thank you, Troy. Appreciate your time very much.
All right. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. Happy Father's Day.
Okay. We had one minor thing come up that Larry needed to speak on. I'm sorry, but Larry needed to speak on, so hold on one second.
League presidents, where are you at? Okay. No, front row. Perfect. I need, we are going to get printed copies of the rule book this year. They're actually going to be separated. So one copy is football, and then there'll be a copy for cheer. Okay? I need those numbers emailed to me, what your league would like to order, by Wednesday. Okay? I have to get that turned in by Friday. And again, keep in mind, if you order them you're expected to pay for them. Okay? $2 a book. Okay? So we're giving you at cost $2 a book. Please email me by Wednesday how many you need for your league. Okay? And then they will come to either Jack or myself, and then we'll get them distributed to you for you to get to your associations. Yes, bud. Next week, Monday. Yeah, so the rule book that we are printing is a condensed version, okay? So the national office used to send cheer and football together. We have condensed that, and we've separated it. So one's for football, one's for cheer. So when you send me those numbers, I need to know how many football printed versions you want, how many cheer printed versions you want, okay?
So we're condensing it. So all the pictures are coming out, all the ads are coming out. So you're going to get just content. And it's a one printing, okay? So make sure you order what you need because there's not going to be a second printing. It's going to be an actual book. It's going to be, each one will be half that size, and it'll be condensed. So, but it's a one printing, so that's how that's how we're getting the pricing. Is we're going to put them all in at once. The printer's going to print them. So get what you need because there's no second chance.
Jack's got what the condensed version will look like. Okay.
All right. Any questions about that? Pretty simple. Get those numbers into Larry. Cheer. We don't know. We'll have to find out. We don't know. We'll have to find out. All he talked about was cheer and the football. So he didn't mention Scholastic. So Dennis told us about it last night. We just found out last night. So yeah. Yeah, she's asking specifically about Scholastics and. Okay. Okay. Well, I think they're going to be in both rule books. I think the first section will be in both of them, I think is what he said. So, good question. Okay. There she is. We're going to bring up Bridget Hoffman. She's going to talk about our online certification process, obviously very important. Without further ado.
And I'll try to make it very painless for you. Yeah, I know. I'll be careful. Is he good? Okay, so I want to talk to you about the regional coaches certification for Mid-America. As Jack has talked about, we have tag teamed with Southeast on this software. Last year was our inaugural year, if you will, on it. We had our bumps and stuff, which is why we went through an enhancement, and the system went down. So we're going to go over some things regarding that. I'm going to go over some high-level important things as administrators for you guys to be able to manage and help support for us and your coaches, and then some information that I felt was relevant. Before I jump into it, though, I do want to point out Ida Milham is my counterpart on this, and I can tell you that without her, I would have lost my mind by now over these last 2 years, and she is a huge support for me, and I just wanted to say thank you, Ida. Key player, yeah. She's the IT, I'm kind of the process, so we work very well together. Okay. Now if I can get this to work. No, I have it right here. Smart ass. No, No, it's not my clicker, it's my mouse, but it does work, but it's not working right now. What? I got it. I got it. See, IT. See, I got it. It's all good. Okay. So these are the topics that we're going to talk about today. I know it looks like there's a lot, but I promise you I will zip through this as quickly as I possibly can. But as Jack mentioned early, this information is critical and very, very important that you understand as administrators and get down to your coaches. Okay? Okay, this is a screenshot. As administrators, if you haven't gone and looked at our regional certification, this is what it looks like, okay, as a user. And that is the, oh, hello, who's clicking me? Hi, sorry, what do you need from me? You want me to nod? You want me to point? You want me to point? Okay. All right, so go ahead. Okay, that's the website. That's the screen that you'll see when you go to our website, okay? The downtime that we had over these last couple of months was to create improvements, to give us enhancements and fix some of the issues that were developed in the system that we identified last year. Some of the things that happened with this also was the graphics that were originally there last year. We had some background graphics, different colors, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of gone, so this is the new look. If you have a league webpage or a league Facebook page, social media, anything to that effect, I strongly recommend that if you don't have a link to this website or at a minimum to the Mid-America website, please do make it easy access for your coaches to go to. So they don't have to try and remember what the exact website is. Okay? Go ahead. We're going to talk about, I can multitask mostly. You know what? This is what I'm going to do. I don't want to touch that or hang on to that. Okay. Can you still hear me? All right. So we're going to talk about some of the requirements because a lot of the problems that we had last year were not all systematic. They were a lot of them were user, okay? So we're going to talk about the functionality requirements. You could use a PC or a laptop, not Apple. It does not like Apple products, okay? It causes issues with the functionality of the software. Go ahead. Tablets. Sorry. Okay. Tablets. You can use tablets, Android-based only. Again, iPads aren't going to work. We're working on it. We're working on it. I know. I see some people shaking their head going, I don't understand why. It is what it is right now, but it is a work in progress. We're trying to make it work. Next one is mobile readiness. We're still not mobile ready. We're very close. We're very, very close on the mobile ready, but it's just not there. When I mentioned that a lot of the challenges that we had last year were not just systematic, it was user. And that was because we put this communication out and said, don't use a phone, don't use iPads, don't use Apple products, and people still did. Now, whether that information got down to them, I don't know. But that caused a lot of their challenges. And they would come back and report to us, well, it's not working, it's not working. Well, it is. You're on the wrong device, okay? The other thing with the mobile ready is that, and I know these are far away and you really can't see it, but on the bottom, when a user signs into the account and looks at their profile, at the very bottom it tells you, mobile app, click this QR code. It's kind of misleading. So do me a favor. Tell them, get the communication down to them. Don't use that, okay? Because it's not functional. It'll take them to the website, but it won't function correctly, okay? Go ahead. Okay, some of the enhancements that we had. If you were at all approached last year from any of your coaches or had the involvement in administrators, a lot of coaches would finish the course and not get their certificate. And that was a system issue. Okay, we've identified that the system was not assigning roles, and that has since been fixed. So what happens now when a user enrolls, the system will automatically fix that role assignment, give them that student role, and as soon as they complete that course, they automatically get their certificate emailed to them. It also becomes visible to them in their historical, which we'll show you, their historical data and within their profile, so they can access at a later date or whenever they want to. So that problem has been resolved, which is a huge thing. One of the things that we also identified is we had challenges with promo codes last year and the generation of promo codes. If you tried to create your own promo code, okay, sometimes it took it, sometimes it didn't. You have an ability to have the system generate, you know, a promo code number, it's alphanumeric, for you. But if you want to make your own, Junior Mighty Might 1, 2021, whatever it is, you are required to make it a 7-character code. If you don't make it a 7-character code, there's functionality issues or it won't let you bypass. So let your leagues or let your associations know that if they're going to create one, it's got to be a minimum of 7 characters or just automatically use the system-generated code. Okay, go ahead. Additional enhancements that we've had and challenges that we found is duplicate payments. And if any of you had any contact with your coaches last year and said, I've been charged 3 times for this course, we identified it. It was a problem not only with how the user was using the system, but it was also a back-end payment issue. Our payment issue has been resolved, okay? But we have to make sure that these coaches understand that follow the process, don't use the wrong devices, don't use the wrong websites, all that type of stuff, so it won't cause you heartache. So what happened is that they would use, go ahead, they would attempt to make a payment, they're registering, and they're doing it on their iPhone, they're doing it on their iPad, and the system would freeze. They would keep refreshing. So every time they refreshed, it processed a new transaction. They would refresh again, process a new transaction. We had one, I think she got charged 3 or 4 times on her registration fee. Okay, so we had to go and do the back-end research, all that type of stuff, to even figure out, 1, how, and 2, you know, to give her a refund. They're also using old browsers. Internet Explorer is no longer supported by Microsoft. It is not supported in this website at all. You need to absolutely, go ahead. Oh, are you already there? You need to absolutely use Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. That is your best bet. If you're using, what is that, Safaria or, oh, that's Apple, thank you. Firefox, make sure it's the latest version. Okay, we can't guarantee Firefox is going to make it happy either, but always make sure you're using the latest version on that web browser. The other thing that they can do too, before they do anything, is they need to make sure that they've received their confirmation email. Once they register, they get a confirmation email. Once they've done that, they can go in and take a look and make sure that everything is copacetic. Then they can also sign into their account before trying to make another payment to make sure that the course that they just paid for says enrolled. Or the promo code that you just purchased shows on the bottom of their dashboard, which I'm going to show you here in just a minute. Okay, by going through all of that information and those opportunities, and this is where, from your standpoint, this is what I need you to tell them. Go through these steps first. If you've exhausted all 3 of these steps, then absolutely 100% utilize that support mechanism that's on the dashboard. Now, currently, I will tell you that we just found within the last 10 days that the support mechanism on the dashboard, it's not working. So I'm giving you mine and Ida's direct email for you to tell your coaches to contact us until that's fixed. Okay, so if they've exhausted all of their measures and you guys have exhausted with them, tell them to email us directly. But we need to know the problem. Don't email me and tell me that it doesn't work. Okay? I can't get into my account. Okay, fine. Okay, tell them to be specific. If they're techie at all, have them do a screenshot. Send me the screenshot. Send us the screenshot. It will make the progress go a heck of a lot faster. Yes, you can. Yeah. I feel like I need eyes in the back of my head to watch what he's doing. Huh? Yeah, I know. No, not him. I'm talking about him. But that's true too. Okay. One of the other issues that was also found when it came to payments is that we found, and this was just recently brought out to us in the last probably 10 days, credit card transactions were not posting to the system until the next day. And what that means is that as a point of sale, you know, when we order anything online, you know right then and there, approved or declined. Okay, unfortunately, that's not what was happening here. You can go ahead. The system, as a user, I would register, I would pay for my course. I got an email and says, thank you for your payment, here's your confirmation number, all is well with the world, go verify your account, yada, yada, yada. Okay, but tomorrow, or the day after, we found that that's when the transaction actually occurred, and many of the coaches' credit cards were actually declined. They were still able to follow through on that software as if, you know, nothing happened, and they were able to take their certifications basically for free. Now, we obviously, you know, as Jack mentioned originally, this is a revenue generator for our region. No different than, you know, your guys' registration fees for your teams, your associations' registration fees, fundraisers, raffle tickets, whatever it is. This helps support our season. This is lost revenue for us. Now, I can tell you, go ahead. I can tell you that the report that I received just year to date, because we have opened the software up for, you know, year round, we have over 50 declined transactions already just for this year, and that was through the end of May. Now, I've not vetted them all. Okay, we will vet that information. Okay, but I can tell you that we are going to lean on the leagues for support on getting this collected. Okay, we're going to treat this almost as league fees. We're going to add this into your league fees for you guys to reimburse us, and then you take it down to your associations with your coaches. I will give you all the data that you need in order to get this taken care of. And, you know, but we don't have, go ahead. We don't have the bandwidth, unfortunately, to micromanage this down to the coach level. We just don't. And we have to have that support from the leagues. The 2020 reporting, because we just found out about this, I was able to get 2021 very easily. They're pulling the 2020 data for us as well, so I don't know what those numbers are, but again, Ida and I will vet this information, validate who took the course, passed the course on a declined transaction, and we will get that information out to everybody. Go ahead. Is there any questions on any of that info right now before I move on? Yes. Correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead. You want to answer him? In the microphone, Ida. No, you're not out. You're not. Tony from Gary is infamous for this. Okay, if you pay for 10 promos this year, and let's say you only use 7, okay, those 3 promos are still available for you to use. In a lot of cases, and Tony knows this, Tony and I talk every new season. You bought 10, and you know you only use 9, right? And for some reason, a coach signed in, registered, and took a course, again, or took the course by using 1 promo code, but somewhere in the midst of that, he burned another code of yours. We can give that back to you, okay? But we have to have that back end research, done to help us with that process. But we can get you taken care of. Okay, we're good. Okay, what I'm going to do is just do a real quick overview on the registration. Again, as administrators, it is important that you know what your coaches are seeing, what they have to do, how they need to take this, what information is involved. So from a registration standpoint, it is very, very, very simple, but there's some key things that they need to remember that they need to do. And there's some key information that they need to have as well. First thing is, when they create an account, little down in the bottom left-hand corner, it says create new user. They have to note their user ID and password. And I'm going to say this again for those of you in the back and a little louder, tell your coaches to document their username and password. Because even though we have forgot my username and password, I can't tell you how many emails we get going, and it goes through our website. I can't remember my username. I can't remember my password. I don't remember the email address that I did for this. They have to keep this, especially if there's slight chance that they're going to be a long-term coach and revisit this software in 3 years. Don't make a new account. Go through the steps, write it down, know what it is, follow the process, and it'll make their lives, your lives, and our lives a lot easier, okay? When they register, they're going to get an email. That email, they have to go through, click on the verification. It'll ask them a couple steps. It'll tell them automatically that they're verified, and they can walk right into the account and select a course and pay for the course, etc. But as I mentioned, the nice thing is that we do offer go ahead and click it twice. We do offer the forgot your username and password. Our legacy system, that option did not work. This one does. But if they don't remember what email they used when they set their account up, it's useless. They have to keep that information. The other option too is that we have, and I don't know if you guys can actually see this, but where that other arrow is it says, remember me. Remember this user. Tell them to click it. At least they have their username. Tell them to click it. Utilize it. Okay. When they sign in, and I don't know, how many of you have never seen this screen? How many of you have never signed into the regional software? You've all signed into the regional software. Okay, well, that's a beautiful thing. Okay, on top, that's Southeast. That's not us. That's the other part that these coaches need to understand. Part of their registration is they belong to the region of Mid-America. They belong to the League of Northern Indiana. They belong to the association of, Argonauts or whoever that is, the South Lake Red Devils. They need to know this. I can guarantee you that if you walk up to a coach today and say, what region do we belong to? Half of them aren't going to know. What's the name of your association? Well, we're the Red Devils. Okay, that's great. That's your mascot. What's the name of your association? Okay, they need this information because if they don't fill that out, all of your reporting is going to be off. So when I send out reports that says this is who's certified and all that type of stuff, and they don't use the right information, I'm not going to search for it. They won't show up under your league. They won't show up under the association. Okay, so it's really, really important that they have that information. We are located in the middle of that screen. Southeast is on the top. Mid-America is right in the middle. This is why they also need to know what region they belong to, because I can't tell you how many people took Southeast certifications last year. Yeah.
If somebody does mistakenly
It's a problem. It's a problem because each transaction is its own transaction. Each purchase is its own transaction. I can't shift it around. So actually what needs to happen is we have to have Southeast issue them a refund, and then they have to repay for the Mid-America and go on their way. It's a pain in the butt. And it would just be so much easier if they knew that they were Mid-America. We only have 2 courses. Southeast has like 6. We're working on creating more, but right now we only have 2, football and cheer, okay? We are Mid-America. Go look for the Mid-America courses, okay? Any questions on that? Okay, go ahead. Okay, you can skip right over to the other one. Oh, back one. Okay, I want to talk about the courses. Now, there's a couple things that we want you to know also as administrators, is every course in a certification has little chapters on the inside, and that's what this one is. This is the first one that a coach will sign into, which is the introduction. The chapters inside are the Pop Warner overview, Pop Warner Advantage, importance of background checks, yada, yada, yada. They have to do every single one. They have to complete every course and every chapter in order to get to the quiz of that lesson. And that's a lot where we see they take the courses and they go through and they take all the courses, but they never take the quizzes, and they're like, why don't I have my certification? Okay? Go ahead. So this is going to be probably a really bad eye chart for all of you, but if you've looked at it at all, okay, this is what the coaches see when they sign in, okay? And the background graphics are killing the screenshot, but if you notice on the top, it's the risk management portion, and then there's, chapters underneath it. If you look to the right, there's boxes. Once you complete a chapter, you get a check mark. Okay, if you don't complete the chapter, you don't get a check mark. But most importantly, if you look at the very bottom, it's the very bottom section before a lot of words that you guys see, it says quiz. That quiz does not get activated for a user to take until everything above it is done. So if you look at the bottom screenshot, you see the green boxes with the check marks. That tells them that's how it looks when they've completed the course. And then the quiz underneath automatically pops up and gives them the opportunity to get a check mark. It's really quite simple. Now, one of the challenges that we have right now is the system is not stopping the user from going course to course to course. They can skip and choose and take this and take that and whatever. If they come to you and say, I'm done, I haven't gotten my certification, I don't know where my certificate is, first thing I need you to ask them is, do you have all check marks in all of your boxes? Are there any quiz boxes that are left unchecked? Because that's the first thing Ida and I do. We go to their dashboard, we look at their history, and we're like, 1, 2, 3. You got 3 empty boxes. You're not done. Bottom line is, they're not certified. They don't have all boxes checked, they're not certified. Okay? Go ahead. Okay, I promise. I'm winding down. I promise. Okay, this is our course list. And you can see it by this course list. And if you've taken the course, either now or even legacy, these are not X's and O's. These are not how-tos on how to stunt, how to create a formation, how to do choreography. That's not what it is. As Jack mentioned when we kicked this meeting off this morning, this is our liability. This is things around our risk management. Taking this course is not just funding Mid-America's season. That's not it. It is protecting your coach, it is protecting your children, it is protecting your association, it is protecting your league. Is all of it all-encompassing? Does it cover every aspect in the rule book that's going to protect us or anything to that effect? Of course not. Okay? But that's why we have a rule book. I was a coach. I started in Southlake. I know that I blew as a coach over all of this la stuff to get to the meat. Okay? This puts it out in front of them. And even if they retain 70% of it and come across one situation that we talked about in here that happens and how to deal with it, and that they know that it's in the rule book and they can reference the rule book, that's what we need. Okay, we don't want to set ourselves up for any type of liability, legality, anything. So when your coaches say, I don't know why I have to take this course, I don't know why I have to take that course, because that's what we hear whenever they have issues. I don't know why I have to do this. I don't know why I have to do this. This is why. We pay for car insurance every day, every year, because we need that protection in case something happens. This is no different. Okay. Now, why certify? What we're going to talk about is not just the coaches certifying, we're going to talk about the administrator certifying. Go ahead. You can just blow the whole thing up. Okay? As administrators, as I mentioned, you should be taking this course, even if you're not required. You cannot support your coaches, you cannot support your organization without the knowledge behind what you're telling them they have to do. So what we're going to offer you is the ability, so you don't have to pay for it, okay? If your league, okay, your league wants to have your administrators take this course, I will set you up with some promos for both football and cheerleading. Because you aren't required to take it, I don't want you to have to pay for it. I don't want you to have your league pay for it, okay? But do not use the promo I give you to give to somebody else to allow them to certify. Free. This is an offer that we're extending our leagues to be able to have this knowledge that we're promoting throughout all of our leagues and regions for our coaches. Okay, so all you have to do is email me, and or you can email Ida, but email me, tell me, football, cheerleading, or both. I will create you what you need. There will be a time frame on them. They will not be open-ended promos, but I will send these to you. And this is only to benefit you guys as well, to help and be more knowledgeable with your programs, but also give us the feedback. We know the software is not perfect. We know that we have a lot of work to do on it, okay? We'll take that feedback, because at the end of the day, your coaches, your administrators, everyone who's taking this are our customers on this. And we want the end user, okay, to walk away from this going, that was a pain, not to say that was a pain in the butt, that was a waste of time. We want them to say that was probably one of the most beneficial certifications I've taken. It's a work in progress, though. It's going to take us a while, but we will take all the feedback that we can get from you guys. Okay? Any questions? Done and done.
Hold on. There was.
No, we'll give them the money back. Well, one of two things. Actually, let me rephrase that. So, if a football coach signs into a cheer, normally what I'll do is, oh no, I make them do it again because it's different prices. No. So we'll have to issue a refund on the cheer, and they have to go re-enroll in the football. Yeah, again, we only have 2 courses. One says football, one says cheer. It's not that hard. Did you have one on? Did you say there was a question online?
Yeah, there was a couple of questions online, and I think you answered them, but just to clarify, on the forgot password, there is a forgot password option, but you got to make sure that they have the right email address.
Yeah, they need to know the email address that the link is going to be sent to. Mm-hmm.
And then somebody that's more technical may know the answer to this. So we mentioned that it does not support Apple products, but what if they are using Google Chrome as the
web browser
on an Apple product?
It's still not working. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
Maybe it's because it's a slightly modified version from
yep.
their operating system.
Yes. What was your question, Dennis? So, I mean, trust me when I say that we have a lot of stuff that's a work in progress. The whole Apple thing is, part of the work in progress. The mobile access is a work in progress. And, whatever we can do to make it simpler on the user is what we're trying to do. But it's not going to happen, tomorrow. Okay? Thanks. Right now, no, but I think that's a really good idea. Ida, would you write that down? So that would be another work in progress. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I send you guys, the reporting that I send the leagues that should be filtered down to the associations has exactly that information on it. And I break it down by league. So, so like for Gary, it would show all of your coaches who have passed, but if they haven't passed, there would be no percentage in there. But as long as they're registered, it's on the report.
Is there a live way?
Right now, no, there's not. But if there's at any time a particular league or an association wants that information, I would recommend the association probably goes through the league for that, because I'm not going to know who all the association people are. But if your league comes to me and says, I need an updated list, we can run it like that and send it to you. Yeah. Yep. No, I like the idea. I really like the idea. So we'll take that back and, talk to Southeast about it. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. So one thing to point out, this is a system that Southeast developed, and then we've piggybacked on. So those are great ideas. We're still working on enhancements. Like Bridget said, we've been talking all winter about new things to put on there for training and things like that. So a lot of exciting ideas, but there's some mechanical stuff we've got to work through. Obviously, Southeast is doing their thing. They got more courses on there. In fact, I was just talking to Dennis and Ken about one of the courses that they have. So all good stuff. We're working on it. These two ladies work tirelessly on it. I would ask you if you could coordinate with your own league certification directors and use them as a funnel to get information to them rather than having everybody contact them. I think they would greatly appreciate that. Anything else for that? I did want to make one quick comment about the background checks and the certification. She made the emphasis that it's basically for liability reasons. Background checks the same way. I don't believe, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe you're required to use this vendor for background checks, but do them, okay? Make sure you do them. We talked about it yesterday in the coaches training. If anybody is going to have any possibility of being alone with a child other than their own, including if you got a mom or a dad that carpools several kids from the neighborhood, spend the $6, get them background checked. It's cheap insurance. Okay? All right. Last but certainly not least, Jane Brooks is going to talk about social media and communications. I think everybody knows Jane. She's been with us for a long time, does a great job with this. Tim and Jack have mentioned several times about the impact that the Facebook pages have had on recruiting, and Jane's going to build on that a little bit and talk some more. So without further ado, Jane Brooks.
Okay, thank you. So today I thought do something a little different instead of kind of taking you through a how-to of doing some of these posts, because we've done that a couple years in a row. And if you need that, I have kind of a little pamphlet I've put together for Northern Indiana in the past at Tim's request back in the day. But today I wanted to talk about a few things, and particularly posting purposeful content, all right? Before we get to that, I do have a couple things I want to talk about in general. The first one is Pop Warner, National Pop Warner has social media guidelines, okay? Any violation of these, right, is
and it's, actually I'll read you the quote. Any violation of the Pop Warner social media guidelines may result in the removal of the parents or guardians and or participant, the kid or kids, from the program for a period of 1 year. No, we don't expect you to monitor every participant in your program, okay? However, your pages that are your public faces, those need to be managed. And any drama mamas that get on there and start complaining, heckling, nasty grams, that is not to be tolerated, okay? There is a chain of command in place for any kind of discourse of issues, problems, concerns. I can guarantee you that when somebody posts something mean or nasty to one of your Facebook pages, within 5 minutes or less, 3 to 5 people at this table minimum have received screenshots. So regardless of whether that individual goes back and deletes it, it is there, and there are multiple people that have screenshot it, okay? Same thing if you're using Band, Remind, any of those things as a communication tool where you have a group thread. Should we have to monitor adults like this? No. Do we have to? Yes. If that happens, you absolutely have to nip it in the bud. You need to have a conversation with those people, regardless of whether they're parents of participants or coaches. You then have to document that conversation, okay? Because I will tell you, much like the parent who is overzealous on the sideline as they're watching, they are not going to be one-timers. That is going to be a repetitive problem because it is a behavior. Behaviors don't just change. What happens far too often with our associations is that everybody kind of looks the other way and is like, oh, whatever, that's Jimmy, that's just how he does it, okay? Except that after 3 weeks of that or halfway through the season, now you're done. And you want to be like, okay, Jimmy, you know what? You're out for a year. But you haven't followed the process. You have no documentation for the things that happened before. And now what's going to happen is he can appeal that, and it's probably going to get overturned because the first thing our investigators are going to say if it gets bumped to us is, where's your evidence? All right? If you have a conversation, document it somewhere. Create a note on your phone that you can email to yourself. Keep a little notebook. Put it in your planner. Whatever you have to do to make sure that you're documenting that. And send a follow-up email. It is the simplest way to create a paper trail, even for just a conversation. Hey, Jay, I just wanted to remind you, I understand there was a little, miscommunication about the social media policy per our conversation on April 12th. Remember, we discussed this. If you need to review it, here it is. Please let me know if you have any questions. Doesn't have to be mean, doesn't have to be nasty. Simply state it, because now you have an additional time, date, stamp for when you had that conversation. Because when Jay comes back to Dennis and says, I don't remember having any conversation with Jane about that, Dennis can go, oh, well, I talked with her about it, and here's the email she sent as a follow-up that evening on that conversation. It covers you and eliminates hassles down the road, okay? I think we were working, oh, he is not in here. There is a place for discipline, right? Yes. Right. I promise you, Jamie and I have been out in the field preaching this for years now. It feels like it's a daunting task at first, but it actually saves you time in the end. All right? Logos and branding. Please make sure that you are capitalizing on the fact that you are part of the premier youth sports organization. Pop Warner is a nationally recognized brand and name. So have LaPorte Pop Warner, have, Algonquin Argonauts Pop Warner. Use that, okay? When you create your logos or you're creating any kind of, post or graphic, use that logo. One of the easiest ways to make sure you include it is if you have incorporated, as you should, the Pop Warner logos within your own league or association logo, right? If you don't have somebody who's graphic savvy in your association, it is worth the money to reach out to someone to get a nice, clean, sharp graphic, okay? Nothing looks worse on Facebook or on the computer when you look at somebody's graphic and it's all like blurry and it looks like boo-boo, okay? So if you don't have it, invest on getting that. You can find people to do some of that on things like Fiverr or Upwork who are like graphic artists who will do it for, sometimes a small fee, $50 to just do an easy logo. I also need your logos. If you haven't sent them in or haven't done that in a while, it'd be really helpful I don't know where Bill is, but Bill and I are trying to create Google documents that are accessible to, like, for instance, our region staff. So if Larry is trying to put together something, he can go into that and just find Munster's graphic right there to then put something out, and have that graphic there along with ours. I was talking with the gentleman from the Citrus Bowl about getting their graphics and their logos so that we can incorporate that in some communication pushes that I want to do upcoming. So please use those. We also have a really nice new Little Scholars logo that we can put on things that is the same colors as our football and cheer logo. So that is really, it has a little graduation cap. It's super, super cute. Okay. There are today online more free resources for doing graphic design for amateurs that are so user-friendly. It's unbelievable. You don't have to pay $1 bajillion to have Photoshop anymore. Canva, like Canvas, without the S at the end, is one of those. PicMonkey, it's just PIC, Monkey is a good one, but they've recently gone where you have to do a lot of anything, you have to have a pro account. I will tell you that for the stuff I do for Mid-America and Northern Indiana, I actually stopped my Adobe account because it was so expensive, and I went ahead and purchased the pro package through Canva, which has been really helpful. Now, on the phone, if I'm doing things out in the field, which a lot of times I don't have my computer there to do anything, elaborate, I use PicCollage. It's one of the more user-friendly ones I found. It produces some pretty decent looking graphics. They don't look, tacky or blurry. And on that one, again, I bought the app, whatever the subscription was, for a year, so that I have that. And mainly because if you use the free one on PicCollage in the bottom right, they have their branding. I don't want PicCollage's branding on our stuff. I want to put Mid-America's logo there, or I want to put Northern Indiana's logo there. So some of these are not necessarily cost prohibitive. I think, I'm going to go out on here and just approximately say I think the pro plan for Canva is, it's like maybe $125 a year for the whole year. Adobe Acrobat was costing me $50 a month, or Adobe Suites was costing me about $50 something a month to have. So I think that's really, you can do more, and it already has templates set in for your Facebook covers, Instagram posts, Instagram stories. They already have the templates there, so you don't have to mess around with trying to figure out what your dimensions should be. And you can go back and edit those over and over again. If you ever were here with us in the past, I used to talk a lot about Hootsuite and SynchShare, which were favorite tools of mine to use to post to multiple accounts. Well, since Facebook and Instagram have merged, you can do that for at least Facebook and Instagram. You can do that right there in one step. So a lot of times when I post for Mid-America, I start in our Instagram, and then I can have that automatically pushed to our Facebook account, right? So it's not as difficult. You're not having to go to one app, posting it, go to a second app and post it. I just saw, but I haven't tested, so I don't want to speak to it, that Canva has recently launched and went live with an integration where you can post directly from Canva your images to your social media sites, okay? And that really cuts down, especially if you can schedule with those. You can spend, an hour or two on a weekend for your social media manager and get a whole month's worth of posts ready to go and scheduled, and then you don't have to keep going in there and posting and doing it again. I know Gary Pop Warner has been doing a great job with all the posts that they go out and boosting them. That's the other thing I want to say. The boost option in Facebook and the Instagram, it is worth it sometimes if you are trying to get that reach out there. And it is not that expensive, right? I think we are at, I boosted the links for our Zoom, for our live YouTube streaming. I scheduled it to boost for 2 days. It's over, as of this morning, it was over 2,000 views and 40 plus engagements, and that wasn't even having run 24 hours, and we're not even, I think, at $5 yet for the cost of that ad. So if you're trying to expand the reach of your association, this is something you want to look into. And you guys use that, right? You do some of the sponsored ads, and you get, and think about it, right? I know y'all have different cost for your sign-up fees, but what are you guys at right now? 175? 150. So if he spends, or Gary Pop Warner spends $20 on ads during the recruiting season, and they get one kid, that 175 is paid for that one kid. If you get 2 kids, it's worth it, totally. Because it's not a huge amount of money, but you can reach a vast number in your area, and you can pick your demographics when you do that. So it's definitely something you want to look at. And Facebook's Business Suite has made that a lot easier. Again, they've done some things that make it so much simpler for you to run Facebook to help promote your organization. I cannot stress, and I know that those of you who sat through some of my talks before are like, we know. You have to use an image. Facebook posts with images get almost 2.5 times the audience than one that's just text. 2.5. And if they engage, that's going to go that much farther, right? So make sure you have a good quality image that you're using. It has your logo on it, and put it out there. The other thing is, and I don't do this for the region because we kind of operate at a different level, but for Northern Indiana, when I have associations that I follow and I see they've posted something, I think Munster, I just shared one of yours yesterday. There was a new ad or something y'all had run it. I share that out through Northern Indiana and out through our Indiana Youth Football and Cheer page. Right? If you don't have a graphic with that, it's just like something where it's just a link. it's not engaging. People aren't going to click on it because they don't even know what it is, right? I just called one of the board members at Michigan City and said, look, I'm sharing your stuff through Northern Indiana, but it's not really getting anything because all it is a link that says Michigan City Pop Warner. There's no, the rest of it, there's nothing there to grab somebody's attention, right? So make sure that you're using those images. And if you have a call to action, make sure that it is very clear, right? And this is where I want to talk about purposeful posting, and especially events, all right? If you're posting recruiting and you're posting it within your group only, you're essentially the old saying goes, preaching to the choir, right? Those aren't the people you want to get to come there. They're already there. You want to get their friends, their family, the people they know, right? Their kids' families, their kids' cousins. So your groups that are for the people who are already in your program, those should be for internal communications, right? Your public-facing page should be your outreach, where you're trying to recruit people, right? That's where you want to make sure that as you're posting, you're deciding, what do I want this ad to do? Am I just trying to build more people to come to our page? Several years ago for Northern Indiana, we did photos of the week, right? Because we wanted more of our towns, our associations, to like that page so they knew about upcoming events, because often, right, one of the things we hear is sometimes communications don't filter down about upcoming happenings from, sort of the league down to the coaches to the parents. This is a way to do that so that they would know, hey, now we know where to go if we want to see the pictures from the district cheer competition, right? If you're having an event, right, if you want to have a clinic because you're going to recruit for football or cheer, think about, do you have to attach a cost to that? What is your goal with this event? Is this event a fundraiser? Or is this event something where you want to get people in so that they see what your program does, they get a little taste, and they want to come back for more? If you can hold an event that's a recruiting event somewhere where you have little to no overhead, hold it for free, right? Because your goal there is to bring them in, okay? A lot of times, parents aren't going to pay $25, especially right now, right? It's tough for some folks. They're not going to pay $25. Now, if you're giving away a shirt and things like that, I'm not saying give away, right, the milk and the cow and everything all together. I'm saying cover your cost, don't make it cost prohibitive, right? If it's a fundraiser, then make it a fundraiser, right? Come to, our, Michigan, kick, pass, punt, right? Fundraiser to support all Michigan Pop Warner associations, right? $35 an entry, you get this, you get that, and then you blast it all over the place. If you're trying to get signups, the lower that cost is, like that Facebook ad, you're gonna benefit so much by the 2 or 3 kids you gain, right, for just that time investment versus, right, the $500 you might make on a camp, right? We did a free clinic for the association I still help coach with. We got 3 kids, we offered it for free. We got a lot of flack for that at first, but for our competitive team, or for our instructional cheer, it's $350 a kid. We got 3 kids, right? That was well worth just our time planning that to gain those kids and put that money and those kids into the program, okay? So think about that when you're doing these things. Don't just post to say, Northern Indiana hasn't posted in a while, I'm gonna post something about what kind of popcorn do you like, right? Not that those posts aren't funny and engaging, because you wanna mix it up, but think about what you want. What step do you want people to take towards your organization? The other thing to keep in mind is marketing research shows how many times do you think you have to touch people to be able to get them to take that step and do your call to action? Dennis, how many? Well, he's already got stalker claims from me, and that's why Christopher doesn't sit where he can see him, really. Just guess. The average is 5 to 7. 5 to 7 messages in different ways to get them to move from wherever they are currently to take that step, to like your page, to contact you, okay? So don't feel like, oh my God, we've sent this stuff out too much, because the people that are interested, who want to get their kids involved, are all people like most of you, right? They're parents, they're working, they're volunteering, they're coaching, they're running kids around, and they're doing what? Oh yeah, East River's having their sign-ups, I gotta do that. I gotta email him. And then some kid comes in, Mom, I can't find my cleats, and that's gone. Right? And then you see it again, and you're like, oh yeah, I gotta do this, right? And it's out the door. So that's the stuff we're talking about. Post it, change up your message a little bit, but the call to action is the same, all right? If you aren't sure how to do some of these things, you can email me, you can Facebook message me. I'll be happy to walk you through a few things. But the social media platforms are one of the major ways that even major corporations are marketing now. Facebook is reaching your parents, Instagram is reaching your kids. I don't mess around with Snapchat because it's messy, but the kids like that too, and I'm not doing TikTok because I spend all day yelling at kids in class to stop making TikToks. TikTok has become the new Fortnite for me. I used to tell them, don't say the other F word in class. Now I'm like, I don't even want to hear about your TikTok. I don't want to see it. I don't want you to practice the steps in class. I don't, okay? Snapchat and Instagram are two of the most, the most, right, for your investment. But I'm telling you, it's worth the $20 on a couple of those ads. Put them out there and use that. Mama out.
All right, very good. Thank you, Jane. Don't underestimate the power of social media, positive and negative. Okay. You know, one of the things I mentioned the other day in the coaches session was a lot of the stuff we're seeing is negative on youth sports right now, right? You know, if you go to YouTube and you type in softball fight or football brawl, you will get lots of hits. Okay. So we need to be cognizant of that when we're setting up our sites and hosting games. That's really important. As Jose was telling me the other day, they had an incident in a parking lot at one of their facilities, one of their games, at the facility they use, which is a school. Had nothing to do with the two teams. It was actually parents from the same team had an issue in the parking lot, and the police were called. So he's got the principal of the school that they play at calling him and saying, I just saw a report that the police were called to my school while you were using it. I don't think we want those phone calls, right? And God forbid, somebody gets hurt, and this includes the officials. We don't always like the officials, but we need them. So make sure they can get in and out safely, make sure they're taken care of for the safety of our volunteers and our players, and obviously ourselves. Last but not least, we're done a little early, but we did want to offer the chance for some open discussion. Mr. Arnett wanted to run that. You don't have any? Very good. Go for it.
So I know you guys keep talking about, you know, league presidents or the lifeline, but I just want to take a second to step back and recognize all the regional board, because this is probably the most value-added regional meeting I've attended. So we really appreciate you. So I'd like to just take a moment and give you guys a round of applause. See, that wasn't so bad, right?
Thank you, Dennis. it takes a village. Takes a lot of folks. There's been a lot of time and effort put into this. So, unless anybody else up here has anything more to add, thanks everybody for coming. Happy Father's Day. Enjoy the rest of your day. We're adjourned.